hosts, the Bay Area Brawler, Skylar Greenberg, and your Colonial champion, Sean McCoy. Welcome to the Court-Martail Podcast.
Welcome to the Court-Martail Podcast, the only place to have the greatest review of the summer take place, with a little new technology and the attitudes as cheerily and merrily as Christmas time in the summer. I am your Colonial champion, Sean McCarty, here to review 2 days of Summerslam. And to join me, as always, is the man who sometimes has power, is the man who sometimes is on the hour, because traffic in the West Coast is a bitch. And there's sometimes too sweet to be sour, but it depends on if he's bought a lot of really thick white sugar to add into his souffle. But I don't know if this man has the patience to make a souffle. Let's find out, because this podcast is going to be long. It's 2 days at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Skylar Greenberg, how you doing, buddy?
Well, first things first, I use brown sugar in my souffle. Thank you, Mumfrey.
I assume that was supposed to be mon frere, but I will allow it.
Mon frere, whatever, fine.
Maybe we should start the podcast over. And with me also, as with Skylar, is the man who has had about 15 minutes of terrible context prior to this that has gotten absolutely nowhere, but now that we're finally getting somewhere, there's the man who is likely to derail it alongside the rest of us, the master of the Totally Awesome Podcast and TAW Gaming, JoshAgeddon. How are you, my friend?
I am thoroughly entertained right now. You guys have no idea, for those of you that are just listening to the CMP, this was a struggle to get off the ground.
Yeah, me and Sean are doing a couple of Three Stooges impersonations while Josh was sitting there with popcorn.
Yeah, well, that's just two Stooges, just for the record. The third Stooge just watched.
I came prepared. I brought a Dr. Pepper.
No Monster Energy drink. Wow, Joshua, I'm disappointed.
I've cut down on those, only on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Let's be fair, this podcast so far has not had Monster Energy. It's had maybe flat Dr. Pepper energy. But we're here to carbonate the shit out of this podcast, and it is going to start with day one in MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, with an attendance that they announced a little bit later on of checks notes. 53,161. And I have day two's numbers as well, just because. But who knows about the numbers? We're here to talk about the wrestling. Your overall thoughts on day one, because we're going to talk about both nights here tonight. Skylar.
Well, we're tuned in for an interesting SummerSlam that, to be honest, had a little bit for everybody, and everybody could have fun, except if you're Joshua having to listen to Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
And Joshua, your initial thoughts on the SummerSlam night one.
Yeah, okay. It started off strong, then kind of petered off for a little bit, and then it finished strong. Which
just like our podcast.
Well, no, there was.
Yeah, that started very strong. That was the firmest intro we've ever had. I agree, Skylar. We have had a very strong intro. We are here powering through as strongly as possibly can be. Go ahead, Joshua.
But honestly, the same could be said for both. Honestly, I felt, we'll get to night two, but both nights, strong start, kind of fell off in the middle, strong end. That's how I felt about night one.
Yeah, I really thoroughly enjoyed night one. I had a good time, even with the matches that were like meh. I still ended up having a good time. There's only one very large donut-related piece of the show that I could have done without. And we will get to that, but we gotta start at the beginning with a tag match. It is the law firm of Braun and Braun versus Jey Uso and Roman Reigns.
Okay, that was a good one.
And
Kudos.
This was thank you, sir. And I really enjoyed all of this match, basically from start to finish. We'll talk about all of the little picadillos, but your overall thoughts on this match, JoshAgeddon.
I thought that this was one of the better matches of the entire weekend. This was very, very good. Everyone, especially Braun Breaker,
He was amazing.
Yeah, he was amazing. I'm concerned about one of his legs because there was a spot where he may have injured himself. But we're recording this right before Monday Night Raw, so I guess we'll find out as the evening progresses. But well, kind of like how you were saying, there was one part of the show, one jelly donut sized thing we could have done without. There's one 4-letter word person that I could have done without in this match, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Well,
we're getting to that right now.
Are you talking about the slogan?
That happened.
Well, hold on. Let's back up a second. Skylar, your overall thoughts on the matchup before we get into the nit and or grit.
Rest in peace, traditional tag team wrestling.
My brother in Christ, that has been that has been long dead, sir. That is a mummified corpse you are witnessing.
Well, that's the thing, is that like the best tag matches were the ones that didn't involve traditional tag teams.
Yeah, but at least Jay and Roman have been a tag team, or at least in a faction together. There's at least some level to that. And Braun as a new tag team, I mean, should they win tag titles? Probably.
I mean, they probably will.
I would hope so.
Unless Braun is hurt.
Unless Braun is hurt, but we'll get to that. But speaking of people who are... You thought my intro was rough here in the Totally Awesome podcast. Whoever was behind and controlling the pyro all weekend was taking the same stuff I was, apparently. Because the Roman comes in and he points and he waits and he waits and then there's pyro.
Dude,
and it happened all night.
Dude, when Roman walked out, the pyro went off early, and then he pointed, and then he pointed, and then he pointed, and then it went off again. Went off a little early.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wouldn't have even noticed that because I was at work while this show was happening live, so I had to catch the replay as per usual. So yeah, I would not have even noticed the pyro issues if you hadn't pointed them out.
Yeah, it's
and it won't be the only time we point it out.
No, that will be a common occurrence. Either waiting too long to explode or exploding far too early, but there was quite a number of occasions here. And but I will have to say, this thing with the shoes, this would have made more sense if Braun had actually beaten Roman like in a match and then taken that to like signify that they were going to retire Roman Reigns. But I must say the pun of using it and calling it the Shula Fala did make me laugh.
Yeah,
that's if you're gonna do something silly, at least make it worth my while, and that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then Brawlin'. And I assume that this is where you would talk about the despising part, because I didn't write as many notes as I typically do. But they, Jay...
Ladies and gentlemen.
This is Mambo number 5.
At the end of every year, we do a little awards show called The Grapplies. You should watch it sometime.
It's on a live stream. The video quality is going to be tremendous this year, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. One of our categories is Worst Male Wrestler of the Year. And holy shit, Jey Uso is making the case. This thing where, hey, the match has started, but I want to do my intro again. So let's yeet some more, even though the match has already started. Why? Why?
This wouldn't have been bad if they didn't play the music. If he just went up there and just started yeeting with the crowd without any of the, the audio, the music group getting productive. I can't speak. I cannot speak today, ladies and gentlemen. Be prepared for not me speaking.
It's horrible, and I hate it.
The truck in the back, if they didn't actually play his entrance, this would not have been as cringy as it was. But instead, it reminded me of R-Truth and Carmella's dance break, and that's just dumb.
Oh, that's exactly what it is.
I mean, it's putting the entertainment in sports entertainment.
I was not entertained. It briefly became not a sport, and nor was I entertained.
Yeah, this only really worked once, and that was with Too Cool and Rikishi. And that was the only time the middle of the match dancing actually, got the crowd into it. Every other time, it's just,
if this becomes a reoccurring thing, I'm gonna start skipping Jey Uso matches. I am nearing my wit's end with this guy.
Well, I agree. I mean, the thing is with Jey, of course they had to give him the win in this, which I thought was kind of funny. But this is what Jey does best, though: tag wrestling. Mm-hmm. You know, let him be a tag wrestler. For the love of God, just reunite Jimmy and Jey and just make them do something with the tag team division. You know, that's all I want, really. I mean, think about the Usos against Braun and Braun for the tag titles. That could be probably like a semi-main event. I won't be delusional to think that could possibly close a show.
But he's main event Jey Uso.
Not anymore, he's not. He's opening match Jey Uso.
But he's a world champ. He's a former world champion, Sean.
Well, you know, there are a lot of people who are former world champion. Jinder Mahal was a world champion.
I was literally about to say, so is Jinder Mahal, so is the Great Khali.
You know, we'll get to the Great Khali a little bit later.
David Arquette's former world champion.
Jack Swagger.
Well, that at least had potential. He just was too high to capitalize on it. Mm-hmm. But in any case, I loved the Braun Breaker screaming the chant at Roman Reigns to Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I was dying when he. Okay, the crowd sing-songy chants are quickly grating on. There's a lot of the show is this thing that's happening is quickly getting on Joshua's nerves. Braun making fun of that was hilarious.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of tired of the fans doing it as well because they do it for too many people.
Mm-hmm. But Roman Reigns.
No.
Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I love Roman Reigns. Well, they started doing it with Cody, and then they just wouldn't stop doing it for everybody.
Jelly roll.
Yeah,
jelly roll.
that one annoyed the hell out of me, man. I'm like, come on.
Did that?
Oh, yeah.
They did.
Oh, they did.
I'm glad.
And specifically, I blame the European fans.
Yeah, Europe kind of fucked a lot of this up for us, I won't lie. Those crowds were hot, but they did a lot of damage to the long-term brain cells of the American populace.
Never forget that the only reason why Jey Uso became as big as he did was because France got really hyped for him that one night. And the Americans carried it over.
It's true.
He was funny when he was plastered on that one show after Fastlane.
The thing with Jey Uso is that he very much is in the mold of a former world champion that probably didn't deserve to get there on his work, but got there because he got so damn popular.
Just because something's popular, that doesn't mean it's good. That's basically been my life motto.
Well,
Joshua, let me counter you with this. How come it couldn't be LA Knight or Sami Zayn?
Because they're not Samoan.
Yeah, of course. The ultimate
podcast where he bitches, moans, and complains 24/7.
The ultimate deal breaker. That you can't.
Yeah,
if
there's
you're,
a reason why the Samoans get over.
Yeah.
The Triple H is like, is Rikishi complaining? Yeah. Okay, maybe this.
No, it's because The Rock has had his dick all over it.
Well, I must say the absence of very rocky, sticky rocks appearing at SummerSlam was a welcome treat for me. I was really worried that he was going to show up and do something.
Me too.
And I'm really glad that I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm happier that we got who we got. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that when we get to that.
We'll get to that.
The thing about this match, anyways, just to bring it back to it, is that Jey Uso, he's going to be the popular mid-card to semi-main eventer from time to time. I cannot imagine he gets another world title reign.
No, I don't either.
Especially considering how absolutely nothing his world title reign was this year. Just they wasted half a year on this guy.
But they knew they were going to do that too.
Win and a main event at Mania for it.
Yep.
Well, but we remember what we said at the time. If they were going to do it, they had to do it now because his popularity was going to drop, and it has. And they, to their credit, they struck when the iron was hot, because if you're going to do something with somebody who's that unstable, not mentally unstable, but just like as a world's champion, that unstable.
He can't be in front of a camera that isn't during a wrestling show and not be inebriated. So maybe you're onto something with that one.
Well, that's I'm don't know enough to be able to say, oh, they've both of those guys have been arrested, haven't they? Or at least they've both gotten DUIs.
I'm pretty sure at least Jimmy has. I don't know if Jay has. If Jay hasn't, I'm stunned.
Yeah, I don't remember which one at the time. I mean, it was a long time ago, so I'm not trying to judge on those kind of past transgressions, but you know, I think that's probably more of a commonality than we'd like to admit. So I'm not going to specifically harp on Jey Uso for it, because I'm sure that there are plenty of others in that group that may have as much, if not more, that we don't even know about.
As I can't remember which one of you said it in our group chat, Cody Rhodes basically made a podcast out of it.
Yeah, that was Skylar. But but you're not wrong. Although I do have to say, I really enjoyed the podcast with him and Kevin, particularly them low key dumping on Matt Cardona. Have you heard this?
Yes, I have. It
okay.
was really fun.
Okay, and then I won't spoil it for anybody, but look up what Kevin Owens said about Matt Cardona on Cody Rhodes' podcast. Not now. Do it when. In like 3 hours when we're done.
Honestly, my favorite part was him saying that Braun Breaker should be arrested because of his spray tan.
Yeah, that was pretty good too. The whole podcast is worth a listen. It's a great thing. It really is.
Damien Priest was so funny.
That one was unhinged. That was almost our level of unhinged.
Yes, it was.
And that's why I would love Cody. If you're ever not doing anything, we would love to have you on the Court-Martail podcast.
Yeah, just don't knock over Sean's setup. That's Sean's job.
That's right.
God.
That's right. You know what? I don't even have a microphone for him, so I have the microphone for me, and you're standing on a guitar case next to me.
Do you use Facebook Messenger?
Well,
You're about to.
Yeah, Cody, send us a Facebook message. Yeah, that's how we know it'll be legit. It's only going to be legit if you Facebook message us.
Yes.
That's. There's no way that yes, send us a GIF of yourself on the podcast, so we know it's you. And
send us a GIF of you saying "Dog's gotta hunt." Oof.
Yeah, there's.
Oh God.
Well, then Braun. Speaking of, Braun does a lung blower. We get a great near hot tag as Roman Reigns gets pulled off the apron by.
Right there.
Yeah, that was really nice. And again, it's good tag work from a great tag wrestler, and everybody held up their own in this, I thought.
They could have easily mistimed that because Jay was trying to get the tag to Roman, and Braun from out of the ring jumps into the ring and does a halfway across the ring football tackle to deny the tag, while at the same time Bronson Reed is yanking Roman off the apron. That was so well timed.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. And then we get the hot tag, and even though this match went on for several minutes longer, the Jey Uso's hot tag later wasn't really a hot tag, so I actually liked how they worked around it, as to where this was the only hot tag that really went down.
Well, my one thing I would like to point out is right after the hot tag, Roman Reigns nearly killed himself.
Yeah, he sure did.
Some say he's still flying and levitating over the earth to this very day.
Well, I'll say this. I got to give a lot of credit to both Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, because they caught him just in time to flip his ass over so he landed flat on his back. That was brilliant save from both Braun and Braun.
Roman Reigns is too athletic. The height and distance that he overshot two guys after clearing the rope.
Yeah,
that was ridiculous.
It's kind of like in Sonic 3 when Sonic's trying to get into the gun base and he's like, I'm going to make it. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. Well, and...
Go watch Sonic 3, by the way.
Yes, but again, I give credit to Braun and Braun for that. And then we get a senton by Bronson Reed? Skylar, what was this?
I can't explain it.
Neither can I. And then Jay
it's just big fat meat coming down on you.
Yes, there was a lot of that on this night. Jay tags in. We get a big clothesline from Bronson Reed and a Death Valley driver, which was nice. We get the Super Bulldog shades of the Steiners, but Jay is just impenetrable.
He is the Samoan Superman.
Yeah, he sure is. And the 1D...
You sound very enthusiastic about it.
Well, I mean, it's wasted on Jay. I'd rather this be Roman. You know, I'm still holding out hope for a Roman Reigns and Cody rematch at some point. You know, but it's not for Roman to take the belt, not necessarily not to take the belt, but I'm still hoping for that. And I feel like there was enough done to help Roman in the long run, in how they told the end of this story, you know, at the end of the match. But I would have preferred that Roman be the one to look like a god and not Jay.
But Jay Uso has to be booked strong. Yeet, yeet, yeet.
Yeah, yeet.
You know, that's like the first 6 sounds you hear from a cat right before it belches a hairball.
You're not wrong.
As the owner of a cat, I can confirm.
As the owner of 2 cats, I can confirm twice.
So maybe all of these people have just one gigantic fur ball, and we're gonna get to one town, and finally we're gonna cough this thing up, and that'll be the end of Jey Uso's push. And how you want to translate that to wrestling booking, I'm gonna leave up to you, the fans at home. But in any case, we get a 1D. Braun saves it. It's then Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker is the man.
Yes, he is.
He pulls up his straps just to pull him back down again, just for emphasis.
Dude, that was straight out of Kurt Angle's playbook.
No.
My favorite match of all time is Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar in the Iron Man match on SmackDown.
Yes.
Kurt, it was near the end of the match, after he's been wrestling for 40-something minutes, and he's hyping everyone up. He pulls back up the straps just to yank them right back down, and the crowd goes crazy. I was like, that's the Kurt Angle move right there, and it was just as tremendous.
Oh, it was hilarious. I was like, this has gone on long when Braun has to put him back up and pull him down again.
And he was having trouble with it, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You try getting the straps up over all that beef.
Yeah, that's
over all of that solid muscle.
If Braun Breaker is not the world champion before he turns 30, so the next 2.5 years, that's a crime.
Agreed.
I agreed. I would like to see him have a really good run with this Intercontinental, or what does he have? He doesn't have anything right now. I'd like to have him have a run with the Intercontinental belt in the near future. Runs. I'd like to see him have a longer one, like a really long one. You know, one that's several months would feature matches. Because I think what's missing right now from Braun is...
Actually, to be honest, I don't think he needs it right now.
Well, right now he's doing his thing, and if he wins the tag belts, which is wonderful, but I'm saying this is down the line. I think him having a set of feature singles matches, but they have to be feature singles matches. The problem I had with Braun Breaker's reign as Intercontinental Champion the previous 2 times that makes me want a third is that, save for Sami Zayn, he didn't really have many on pay-per-view. Now, I know that he had plenty of Raw matches, but on pay-per-view, he didn't have a ton of singles matches.
He had that one triple threat at Survivor Series, and that was about it.
Yeah, and I think that he needs to have more singles matches on a larger scale, before he gets to that world title moment. So I would say that probably at 30 would be when I put the belt on him. Because keep in mind, he's still relatively new to the roster. And it's people, the WWE fans are weird. They sometimes like watching people suffer before having the belt put on them. It's very rare that they get a crowd to really get into I don't want to say a Goldberg style push, but somebody who's on the roster early that captures gold early. Except for Gunther. He's a very rare instance. But I think Braun needs more time doing what he's doing and getting some singles matches under his belt in a more elevated capacity before he gets that world championship.
I'll tell you one thing right now he needs. to not be injured. Please don't be injured. Please don't be injured.
He's not. Yeah.
He's not.
He's not.
Okay, good.
But Roman might be, because he falls on the spear that Jay was gonna take.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Roman being like, I care now. You made me care more. And so then Jay gets the win because they're really trying to keep him strong. For what purpose? I don't care. I just...
It's sad.
It's just sad. It's just sad because I think that... Man, LA Knight was nowhere to be found either night. I was worried this was going to happen. I really was, and I'm still worried. I won't lie. I'm worried about LA Knight, and I'm afraid that they just don't see it in him at this point. Because Jay keeps getting the push he should be having. Your final thoughts, anyone on this match?
It was really good. Everyone, even Jay, as much as it pains me and makes me want to puke up bile saying it, everyone looked good in this match, but Braun Breaker was the superstar of this match. And Roman Reigns, try to be less athletic so you don't die.
Having said that, there should have been a case for Braun winning this match. And specifically, if you want to make Braun look strong, have him pin Roman.
That's what I wanted them to do.
Yeah.
And they did not.
And they did.
But the positive and what did happen, Bronson was the one that got pinned. So at least they didn't pin Braun Breaker.
I mean, that was almost a given if they were going to have them lose. But again, if you really want to get Braun Breaker over strong, have him both. I could have taken him pinning Jay. Like, that would have been fine. But if you have him pin Roman, like, that sends the statement.
Yeah. That's what I would have done, but clearly they thought differently.
And that would have set up a hell of a singles match between those two as well, which I really would have been in for.
I want to see that match so bad.
Me too, but they're not ready for that. They're still in the middle of main event Jey Uso.
Fuck.
Even though everybody... Yeah, exactly. Even though everyone else has moved on from main event Jey Uso, they're sticking with it. But we have another tag match coming up after this. It is...
Double fuck.
Well, we're going to talk about it more after we get through a lot of night 2, but this... Having 2 tag matches in a row is just bad choicing.
Dude, both nights were structured so weirdly.
We're very imbalanced.
Welcome to night 1, the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and welcome to night 2, Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
What?
We had 5 out of 6 matches had no rules to them in night 2. And we had 3 tag matches on night 1, and there's only 6 matches per card. You couldn't have done a little shuffling around here. You know, especially in this middle area here. I'm actually surprised you didn't, but I know that you didn't watch it, JoshAgeddon, but I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't put Jelly and Randy versus Logan and Drew on night 2, to tell you the truth.
But night 1's the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic.
Well,
Night 2 is Extreme Rules. We just set this precedent.
Well, the women are sandwiched between the men's tag matches because it's Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, the current tag champions, versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, the friends who aren't friends. But for some reason, it's getting over with the crowd. I have not been watching the television. I'm not even going to lie about that. But I'm hearing that people are liking it. So I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. I tried to walk into these shows to have fun. And damn it, I'm going to have fun and not kill my friends. And
well, so jury's still out on that one. But I will say it is very strange hearing Let's Go Charlotte chants, which I
genuine Let's Go Charlotte chants.
Yes, not piped in, but genuine crowd support for Charlotte is the weirdest thing ever.
Well, it helps that... Okay, have either of you read the Players Tribune article?
Yes, I did.
No.
Yes, I did. And I actually... It really did make me sympathize a lot more with the person that's behind Charlotte Flair. So I have a newfound respect for her just for writing that entire deal.
Yeah, that's basically the reason why she's kind of getting babyface reactions.
Yeah. No, I get why she's getting them. Totally get why she's getting them. But I was like... Her work still kind of sucks, though. So
yeah,
I'm interested to see how this goes. And honestly, I thought that Charlotte held up her
here's
end.
The thing: as your worker quality goes down, people like you more.
Sometimes.
Jey Uso proved that. So does Charlotte.
Well, but at least in Charlotte's defense, tag wrestling right now seems to suit her because A, she doesn't have to do as much, and B, she made what she did do look actually pretty decent this time around, mostly.
And C, she's not involved with something important.
Yeah, and well,
the women's tag team championships are a championship.
Yeah,
Are they?
Do they get in-ring introductions from Alicia? I put my finger in a light socket Taylor.
No,
then they don't
Frankenstein's
matter.
Bride does not give in-ring introductions.
Yeah,
That was honestly one of my least favorite things on both nights. What the hell is this woman's hair?
she keeps trying to put it in the cotton candy maker, bring out something else, and
You aren't the star of the show. You say people's names, weights, and where they're from, and what the rules of the match are. Stop trying to act like you're. And Michael Cole, stop calling her great.
they're probably that's why
Samantha
they're
Irvin
encouraging
got
it.
over like that.
She also sucked.
Well, she did for a while, but she warmed up on me because at least she had genuine emotion. You know, when she was trying, you know, I just thought she had some passion. She then very quickly proved the contrary when she left and decided to not pursue anything else in the business at all. And so I'm a little disappointed about that. It's a shame, but I would take her over that. But that's not who we're talking about. Overall, your thoughts on this match? I thought it was pretty darn good for what women's tag team fare has tended to be. Your thoughts, JoshAgeddon?
I thought it was solid. And again, it was solid. It was not as good as the previous tag team match here on this episode of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Cup. But I still did very much enjoy it. Roxanne Perez, I thought, was the standout of the match. She looked really good.
She's great.
And Charlotte did not suck, and Raquel also shockingly did not suck either. The only thing that really sucked was the Judgment Day's theme song, which, Skylar, when we get to the TLC match on night 2, holy shit, Def Rebel. That was just a Def Rebel sucks showcase. But Judgment Day's another example of that.
Yeah, these theme songs being generic sounds on a keyboard do not help.
Yeah, leave that to the professionals like White Knux and Abizzle, who are making a comeback, baby. We didn't really leave, but we're coming back. That's the whole plug.
I'm not gonna lie. Can we stop with this whole thing of people who don't like each other but become the tag team champions trope?
Well, at least these two are making it work until one of them suffers a crippling injury in about 3 to 7 weeks.
And I don't want that to be Alexa.
Yeah, but it's gonna be one of them. You know it is.
So
there have been more title changes
Charlotte,
from
because she's
injury
the one
than
with
there
the
have
knee
actual
issue.
title changes.
But it's going to be Alexa because you want it to be Charlotte.
I know, that's the worst part.
Yeah.
What year do you think we're in, Skylar?
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing again. I'm just going to say this right now. WWE, stop doing this thing with putting two singles wrestlers together and making them a tag team. Just have dedicated tag teams for both your men and women's divisions.
Skylar, this is WWE's message to you. No.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Yeah, that's.
I will go fuck myself, and I'll do it proudly.
Dude, they booked
TLC matches.
Yeah, they booked a 6-team TLC match. If there is no bigger middle finger to their opinion on tag team wrestling, I don't know what is. They had 3 tag team matches on one night.
At least that was in tribute to the TLC that was 25 years ago, but we'll get there. Anyways, the point is that, yeah, this match was fine. I also could do without the cheetah print on Raquel and Roxanne.
Speak for yourself, sir. And
Raquel looks like Tamina Snuka.
Speak for yourself, sir.
Well, she works a little bit better than Tamina.
Well,
barely.
Well, yeah. She's a little bit better than Tamina. Tamina was pretty rough.
Yeah.
But in any case, Roxanne, she does
Roxanne.
not. I was just about to say she does not have to put on that red light, but that's funny how we put that. But in any case, she does a lot of things that maximize her minutes. Right when she goes for a cover and she gets a 2 count, and she just looks at the ref and goes, "Count faster." That little stuff I love. And she's got it so quickly. And then Roxanne, okay, I have a bad pun for you. So get ready with the Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh no.
So Alexa Bliss goes to do the Sister Abigail on Roxanne, and Roxanne got out of it by using her Sister Abigail. That was an earned silence.
Sean, I want you to go to the corner and think about what you just said.
No, I'm going to have an entire TLC match discussion to do that. Just keep the minutes ticking.
That pun deserves us just tying you to a chair and like prying your eyelids open and forcing you to watch every TLC match that has ever been done.
Well, Roxanne missed the knees up.
Enjoy some of them. That's the problem.
We'll find like the ones that are just tag team matches.
Yeah, anything from 2017 on is. I mean, there've been good ones though. I mean, I'm blanketing. It's more of an indictment on the tag division that makes me sad. But in any case, we'll get to that when we get to that. We're not even there yet. Roxanne and Raquel got very good heat all matchup, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And Raquel held her own. Again, Raquel tags in Roxanne, and immediately Roxanne goes for a cover. Little things. It's the little things that impress me with Roxanne.
Even on commentary, they kept putting over how she's wise beyond her years. Which, I mean, you could see it clear as day when she's working.
Yeah, she definitely understands it at a deeper level than I think quite a number of people do, and I think she's going to be one of the best, come hell or high water in the next 3 to 5 years. And I think Skylar, I got to give you credit for that one because you saw her prospect very early on, ever since she was a little girl. You saw it.
Well, ever since she was a little girl in NXT, but the thing is that she was a babyface at the time doing a very, very bubbly babyface gimmick, and I didn't expect her to be this good.
And boy, I mean,
I didn't expect her to be as good at all as a heel. Like, this, to me, Roxanne Perez is like a combination of Bayley and Alexa Bliss, which is ironic considering she wrestled both of them. But she is kind of like that perfect combination of in-ring general and a small package.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
if you're gonna have a small wrestler, be charismatic as hell, sell everything with your facial expressions, which is her best stuff, and also her offense does hit hard too. Some of the stuff that she was doing with Alexa was great.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, those are fun spots to have, especially with two wrestlers of that size, quote unquote.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, and then things kind of got larger because Charlotte gets a tag. I did like the handstand clothesline. You could tell Charlotte has adjusted her style a little bit to more accommodate or better accommodate her knees.
Mm-hmm.
And
I also thought that was pretty cool. And the first thing that went through my mind was, wow, even though it's not from the apron, she's doing that better than Hangman Page.
Yeah, well, she's reminded me a lot of some of the stuff she did in NXT that they just kind of removed when Charlotte got more mainstream Vince McMahon style main roster. So it's stuff that we've seen before, but not in a while, and it's far less impact on her, which is good, and it also freshens her up a bit.
And just again, credit to Charlotte, she did a really good moonsault. Granted, it wasn't to a standing person, but two people laying down, so it actually touched them.
Boy,
Maybe
did
that's
it.
the key. She can't do the moonsault to standing people. They have to be on the ground.
Yes, please. From now on,
Yes.
please.
She's not at Lita level yet, but she's downgraded to now just doing a regular moonsault. I remember Lita had to do the same thing at one point, and then, late stage Lita, every time she did that moonsault, you were fearing for her and whoever was underneath her maybe's life.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, between Lita and Jeff Hardy, they got lower and lower as their careers kept going.
Yes.
Yeah. Jeff Hardy, he's hitting those swantons for real now.
Yes, he is.
But anyway, yeah. Bliss decks Charlotte by accident, but it doesn't really damage their friendship. Raquel and Roxanne do a double finish, but Bliss saves Charlotte, which makes it okay. And to the credit of all four of these women, they got the crowd right back into this.
Mm-hmm.
And when they finally got to the finish, and Charlotte and Alexa won. The crowd popped. It was way better than expected, and the last thing I wrote was, I pray for their safety and good health.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
this was good.
Yeah, this match I had no expectations going into, and it way over-delivered.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of over-delivering, we got pizza backstage.
I skipped this.
I also skipped this.
Now, I was lucky enough to go to Worcester, England, just a couple of weeks ago. So what I was doing in the first hour that the show was taking place was doing a slideshow with my folks, showing them the wonderful photos of Worcester, England, and the places that I saw. And then I got the chance to watch it. So the second I saw the New Day dressed up as fucking 3 Count, I was out.
The second I saw, I was like, oh, this is an ad. This isn't going to be funny. Skip.
Also, of all the things that they could pick for pizza, they picked Papa John's.
Hey, Papa John's is pretty good. It's better than Pizza Hut.
Of all the things that they could do with the New Day, and they're doing that.
Yeah, it says something when you're doing commercials backstage with Akira Tozawa, Otis, Maxine Dupree, all these just...
You know who else was doing backstage promos only before he changed his name? Also with Otis.
I was about to say, and no Bishop Dyer anywhere in sight.
Bishop Dyer.
The state of the New Day sure is dire.
Yes, yeah, I think this is now a new death knell. When you are reduced to ads in between matches. LA Knight wasn't even in those, but thank God.
But can we just talk real quick? Remember earlier this year when the New Day had nuclear heat?
Yeah, and then they couldn't do anything with that.
Yep.
And so they just did nothing.
Yeah.
They won the tag titles and nobody cared at all.
Yeah, they won the tag team titles.
And speaking of nobody caring, it's Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn.
Skyler, it's even worse than that. They won the tag team titles and that made people care less.
Yeah.
Okay, well, again, speaking of not caring, here comes Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn.
Well,
yep.
This match fascinated me.
For much longer.
This match fascinated me even more than the first time they wrestled because we saw Karrion Kross, and not counting his bumps where he was doing moves, we tried to count how many bumps he actually took, and we landed on what, 7 or 8 the last time. Sky, I don't remember what the actual number was, but some of those bumps were rather uninspired. This time, and now it's become an ongoing trend to see whether he's actually going to do more or less. And I think I found him do less. And it is now fun to watch Karrion Kross matches to see just how many bumps of consequence he will take. And I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to watch Karrion Kross, because this seems like a guy that the IWC fell in love with for his promos, but the office is not in love with at all.
To answer your question, it is exactly 1 month.
So, this matchup was very interesting. Would anyone like to speak on this match before we get into the nit and or grit, if there is any of it?
I will go first. I thought this was boring. This was a TV match in the middle of SummerSlam. This show did not need to be 2 nights. This could have been 1 night with the best matches from both on one show, and this was a pre-show match. They had a 3-hour pre-show on both nights with 0 matches. What the fuck? This is the definition of a pre-show match that was for some reason on the main show.
I mean,
also the IWC falls in love with someone who isn't that good. What a shock.
I know. That's not that surprising.
I don't know if love is the right word. I think appreciate is the right word.
Well, here's the thing. I think that there is something about Karrion Kross's personality that is palpable, but boy, he would to me, serve better as a manager.
Yeah.
The problem is that he's not really a manager type.
Well, but see, well, yes and no, because he could still be all about himself and have followers behind him, kind of in a Kevin Sullivan style way. And I think that there could be something that people would actually get behind on that. And
They tried that with the Authors of Pain.
yeah, which were a stupid group of people to put them with. You don't put them with a bunch of nobodies. Sorry, but that's who they are.
On the Final Testament.
Yeah,
though.
and also dumb name as well.
Yeah.
This could have just been if
Why didn't
Carrie.
they call it the Last Testament?
If-
That would sound so much better.
Or here's an even better one.
They probably would have been sued by God, though.
I've got a much better idea. Don't call them anything. Just have Karrion Kross have followers. You could call him the cultist of Cross if you want to, or some stupid shit if you really want to, but just have it be people who are with this vision that Karrion Kross
Church of
has.
Cross.
The Cross Church, the Church of Cross.
Well, it would piss people off. He would probably get some pretty decent heat out of that. I'm just saying.
Or better yet, since she's the more interesting person, have the stable be around Scarlett.
Does she talk?
She can talk if she gets the opportunity to.
Yeah, well, I can talk if I get the opportunity to. That's why we're doing the podcast. Is she gonna be somebody who people can realistically buy as a cult leader, the way that Karrion Kross is coming off like?
Okay, so here's the other thing too: is that Karrion Kross and Scarlett is an act that would work perfectly at an indie level promotion,
Or in Vince Russo's Attitude Era, but
Or in TNA.
yeah, Karrion Kross feels like a TNA gimmick.
well, give it probably less than 6 months, and you will probably see it. Killer Kross return to TNA as that, but. I have an interesting comparison here, and I want you to bear with me as I explain why I say this statement. Sami Zayn has been this generation's Rey Mysterio. They've been looking for it in another luchador, not realizing that they've had it from the start. As far as the underdog babyface that nobody really believes can make it to a top level and achieve top things because of their size or just who they are, and the ability to go and captivate a crowd the way that Sammy does and get the heat that he does and do the great stuff that he's been able to do, but with actually better promo skills than Ray ever had. No disrespect to you, Ray, but talking was never the greatest thing that you did. But Sami Zayn has all of the attributes for what led Rey Mysterio to success.
I see what you mean. I can kind of see it. And what's really funny is he actually used to be a luchador.
See, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, very apt. Very apt.
The only difference is that he'd never put his mask back on the way Ray did.
Yeah.
But in any case, do you have any thoughts on that, Skylar, or are we just going to move on to the fact that we didn't have a collar and elbow tie-up for the third time in 3 matches?
We're gonna move on.
Okay. Well, let me just say now, collar and elbow tie-ups took a hit on this program. There was one. One. Now, let me rephrase that. 1 match out of 12. Because that 1 match had like 3 of them, but 1. And that match was the main event of night 1, which was my vote currently for match of the year. We will get to it. Everybody else did something else, and that made me sad. I love Wade's joke about, he was talking about how Sammy wasn't world championship material, and then Cole says, well, Wade, you were never world champion. Wade's like, well, that was a skill issue. That was something else entirely.
Wade is the best commentator.
I love Wade right now. Wade is
so
hilarious.
He is. He had me cracking up a couple times on both nights.
Yeah, I agree. And Anyway, we get a barricade moonsault, and that's the only bump that Karrion Kross had taken at that point, and it was fine. Karrion Kross's suplexes look nice.
His Saito looks devastating.
And then Karrion Kross doing his best Dr. Eggman with, "What's the matter with you?" And he is really, genuinely, they maybe should just shave his head and have him grow a ginger long mustache and just do Karrion Eggman. Because it would be better
but
than...
he doesn't have the energy that Jim Carrey does to carry it.
Oh, I'm not saying it would be funny. I'm just saying that it would make me laugh.
I don't care if it entertains you. It entertains me.
It would entertain me. And this is what this show and everything about wrestling is about, is entertaining specifically
Niche
me.
audience.
Yes.
Niche audience.
That's right.
Yeah, for one Connecticut resident.
That's right. Well, hey, at least I'm not getting into an accident on the merit. So Sammy got one good clothesline bump, and that was a hell of a clothesline that Sammy gave. Then we get a steel pipe, Blue Thunder Bomb that doesn't work.
Shut up.
Sammy gets...
Shut up.
Hey, I'm not the one booking. I'm not the one who chose to do that. Sammy gets hot, and Scarlett passes Sammy the pipe, and Sammy has a great ass time, man.
Rephrase that sentence.
Yeah. Scarlett throws Sammy the pipe, lays Sammy the pipe, and Sammy turns down the pipe.
I'm not sure that's better, but okay.
And Sammy chugs it down. I mean, turns it down, and the exploder was very dumpy, which is funny now hearing it in the context of the joke we just made. But that is how I wrote it. Exploder was dumpy. And then a haluva kick, and Sammy ends it.
Yep.
I didn't hate it. It was just there. It was a middle of the card match.
Bye, Karrion. It was nice knowing you.
Is he leaving?
Can't wait to see you in AAA.
Is he genuinely leaving? Because
supposedly his contract and Scarlett's contract is up in September, and I don't think you renew that thing.
Well, I probably wouldn't at this point. Well, he might have won one of these matches in this Sammy feud if that was the case.
Well, he won a match on Raw, which
this was the blow off because do you know what the stipulation was?
No more red lighting from the production truck for you if you lose.
So if Cross won, Sami Zayn has to admit that he's not a good person. If Sami Zayn won, Cross had to admit he was wrong.
Wow. Did he even admit he was wrong?
No, they might be saving that for Raw tonight, which is airing now.
He turns into the Fonz. I was right, and just kicks him.
Now, can we get to the part of the show that I cringed?
Oh no.
Well, I assume it's this. Wait. Oh, is this the Hulk stuff?
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
It's not the truth of Hulk Hogan. It's the fact that Nick Hogan was there
all weekend.
Yeah.
And let me put it out right now. For those of you wondering where the hell is the Hulk Hogan podcast from us, we are doing one this week. So stay tuned. We wanted the dust to settle a little bit because we want to be as fair as possible. You know, we want this to be as balanced as we can possibly get it. So stay tuned. It's coming up.
We would have done it today, but you see, there was this huge event called SummerSlam.
Yeah. And we're trying to cover two nights in one.
We don't feel like talking for 4 hours.
Yeah, it's
that you crazy freaks would listen to all of it and lap it up. But
we're on pace right now for a 4-hour show, so let's move on. Brother. Hulk's gonna get some merch moving, even in dying. He's not even gonna let Austin get over on that.
Nope.
Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne wasn't even put over for a whole day before Hulk Hogan decided he needed to get the attention.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
That doesn't work for me, Ozzy.
He even stole the thunder of Vince getting in a car accident by half an hour.
And no one knew about it until a week later.
For a half an hour, Vince McMahon gets into an accident at 9:22 a.m. on the Merit, and at 9:50 something, Hogan dies. You're not stealing my news cycle, brother.
You got your AAA reference with Psycho Clown and Mr. Iguana.
Barf, vomit, gross, you. Next.
Yeah, I have nothing to comment
next
on
is
that.
all that in match form.
Well, this match was something. It's Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton for the Women's WWE Championship, I think. And
Yes.
and Alicia Taylor's Cotton Candy Sindel is a sin. Do not.
Yeah. Sindel from Mortal Kombat. I just got that.
Yeah.
Well, she does scream and it makes my ears hurt, so it fits.
Well, it's better than her half growl she tried to do. But in any case,
Out of her vagina.
we get... Well, what were your impressions of this matchup, Skylar?
Boy, they're asking Tiffany Stratton to wrestle a lot.
No, they're asking Tiffany, "Hey, can you carry this garbage for us?"
I'll tell you what.
Hey, we have Nia Jax. Can you do something? Sure, no problem. Hey, can you do Charlotte's? No problem.
This poor woman's gonna have spinal stenosis because she has been carrying a lot this year.
And
They've been doing this to both Tiffany and Gunther. Hey, can you haul this trash for us to a decent match?
And you got to give her credit. She's been doing a good job.
She's been doing a good job.
She's been nailing it.
She is making a case for Women's Wrestler of the Year.
I agree.
Yeah,
I very much agree. I think that she has really... this was a test for Tiffany more than it was for Jade. This was a test for Tiffany to be like, can you lead a match that is going to put you in the top tier among the... I mean, yes, she's women's champion. But a match like this, it tests... I guess the smarter folk, so to speak, because they know that it's gonna be Tiffany basically carrying the entire match, and she did a tremendous job here. And I think that the machine is gonna get much more behind her, as if she hasn't already, as if they haven't already, by just dumping loads on her. And yes, I phrased that exactly the way I wanted to. Skylar, would you like to rebut?
I will say that Kaiser might have something to say about that, but he's too busy at AAA right now.
He's in Charlotte's DMs. What are you talking about?
Fuck off with that.
Sorry.
I'm not putting up with this slander.
Sorry.
Speaking of the Machine very much getting behind Tiffany, much like how the previous match was the Machine saying, "Yeah, IWC, we know you like Karrion Kross, but that doesn't work for me, brother." This was the Machine telling Jade Cargill, "Yeah, this ain't working for me, sister."
Look.
The thing is that Jade Cargill, her matches are okay, but she's still clunky in areas that seem weird given her quote-unquote experience.
Skylar, I'm going to retract my statement that I made a couple of months ago. You're going to be happy I'm going to do it.
The statement that you made a couple months ago.
Raquel Rodriguez is not Dan Spivey. Jade Cargill is Dan Spivey.
No.
Yes.
I got one better for you.
Okay. Don't say Giant Gonzalez.
Jade Cargill is Black Goldberg.
I thought you were going to say Black Rain for a second, and I thought oh boy, that took a turn. But...
No, but she does all the same stuff that Goldberg did. She even had the streak.
Yeah, but that was a crappy booker.
She did it. I was going to say.
Yeah, everything that happened in AEW, I just basically discount entirely. She started training when she came to WWE.
That was non-canon, Skylar. That was the filler arc.
Yes.
Okay, fine, whatever. But she even did the stupid kick that Goldberg does.
Yes, Jade Cargill's AEW run was Capsule Monsters.
Until she gives Bayley a kick that gives her a concussion and Bayley has to retire. I'm doing the Bret Hart thing. There might be...
I mean, she tried to do that with Tiffany Stratton. There were several points in this match where I'm watching Jade Cargill going in half motion and worried for Tiffany's health.
Well, and Tiffany, she didn't slow down at all. This has been a fast match to start. They did a tope suicida, which was... fast. The swanton was gorgeous.
Yes, it was.
The Eye of the Storm belongs to James Storm, ma'am.
I know. I said the exact same
I was
thing.
quite upset about that. I'm like, she does not call it the Eye of the Storm. The hell she does.
That's not even the right move. Like that was a rack bomb. The Eye of the Storm is kind of like Sheamus. It's kind of like the Razor's Edge, but with a spin.
Yeah, I was upset by that.
Not even the right move. So
I was upset by that. Yeah.
I guess you could say that made us both feel pretty jaded.
Well.
Oh God.
Well, then
Boo.
there's a really funny moment where, I don't know whether you saw this, but Tiffany Stratton takes a Kurt Hennig bump to the outside after Jade just taps her ass. She like butt taps Tiffany, who takes a Kurt Hennig bump to the apron. I was like, oh man.
Yep.
She's trying. She's trying.
Literally trying her ass off.
Then we get half of an Alabama slam.
That was rough. but honestly, I think the commentary called it correctly. That's kind of a long woman to be giving an Alabama slam.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Then we get the jaded, but the foot was on the base of the ropes. The crowd is hooked at this point. I liked that spot, by the way. I thought that was clever.
It showed Jade's inexperience.
And, it's been a more modern style match, but I liked it. And, and then there was the super jaded attempt, which was then countered by Arana, and the prettiest moonsault ever ended the matchup. And I said, you know what? For what that could have been, that was about as good as it could have been.
Yeah, I agree.
Good job,
Not much
Tiffy.
of a compliment.
Good job, Tiffy. And hey, people had to work with Omos, so.
Hey, Tiffany, do you think you could get a good match out of Omos?
We should have Jade versus Omos.
No.
Yes. If Vince ever comes back, that's the first main event.
Black Goldberg versus Black Khali. No thanks.
In a Punjabi prison match.
No.
Yes, come on, a Punjabi prison, that's like the best stipulation they've ever had.
No, you have to be more culturally appropriate. It has to be a Nigerian drum match.
Oh, man.
Apollo Crews is still employed, I hear.
Oh, man, that happened.
Yeah, he's not doing that gimmick anymore.
Thank God.
He's not doing any gimmick other than doing like wrestling.
I do miss that flower pot spear that he used to carry around, though. But in any case, let's move. Speaking of the Great Khali, it's time for the match that JoshAgeddon skipped, and
I do actually. Well, who wrestled Sean?
I'll let you rant here in just a second. It is Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre, fresh from stupidly leaving his passport in the States. Yeah, dumbass move, Drew, and you didn't even. Your plane took off before I could even see you at the London Heathrow. Anyway.
He's getting Drew McIntyre of your shit.
Yeah, that's right. Even though, please stay, I love you. Yeah. And I thought my Abizzle joke was bad. And anyway, it's Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton and the Great Jelly. And that is what I will be calling him from now on. Because not only does he look like that, and not only does he move like that, but they have apparently taught him to work like that. And now I will leave the angry ranting to JoshAgeddon. Go ahead, buddy.
I actually wrote some notes about this match. My notes for Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton and Jelly. My notes: poop, poopy, dookie, feasting, scat, shit, fecal matter, diarrhea, and dysentery. I didn't watch this because I like living. And if I watched this, I would have probably stopped living very, very abruptly and violently. WWE, I know that for like as long as you have been in since Vince McMahon Jr. took over, you literally cannot help but fawn over the idea of a celebrity acknowledging that you exist. And you've actually been doing a little bit more decently over the past couple of years because you had Pat McAfee, who could actually work. You have Logan Paul, who's exceptionally good at working. But you also have made some critical errors this year. For example, Travis Scott, which was a whole another issue. That's a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah, glad he's not coming back.
Jelly Roll.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I did not do it. I did not do it. It's not my fault. It wasn't my fault. Gene Snitsky. It wasn't my. Oh, I miss Titus O'Neil.
Jelly
Yeah,
Roll.
that ambulance is going for somebody who apparently died. So
Me, because every time I look at Jelly Roll's stupid, fat, tatted up, dumb-looking face, I want to stab my eyes out with a fork. Just why?
Damn.
I you two talk about it. I'm sure it was a fun, wonderful match. At least he got pinned. Spoilers. Who gives a fuck? I hate Jelly Roll. This is stupid. WWE. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, the administration's it's different, but is it really though? The more things change, the more things stay the same. Triple H, do better. Like, get people that are actually athletic to wrestle on wrestling shows, because this Jelly Roll being involved is an embarrassment. I don't care that he lost weight. Apparently, he's been 300 pounds since 6th grade because he's a fat fuck. Why did you bring him in? I'm angry.
Anything else to say, Scott
Josh,
Steiner?
Can you give me and Sean like 2 or 3 minutes, because I don't have much to say about this match.
I'm actually gonna go pee real quick while y'all talk about this. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. So while JoshAgeddon is peeing, what were your thoughts on this match, Skylar?
This is a waste of everybody's time.
Yeah.
Why do we have to force these 3 to have to wrestle a match with basically an immovable object?
Andre moved better than this guy.
Isn't it sad that Jelly Roll lost 50 pounds and still looks like Paul Blart?
Well, because they made him work like Paul Blart. It's like, the thing is, I don't understand who told him, hey, you lost a lot of weight, so you don't look as monumentally huge like Haystacks Calhoun as you used to, but we still want you to no-sell a body slam from Logan Paul.
I heard someone say Paul Blart.
What did that make you run back into the room?
Yeah, because I had a good joke. Jelly Roll looks like if Paul Blart joined MS-13.
I don't get it, so I'll just respond with ha ha ha.
It's the Mexican drug cartel, Sean.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I don't do
Sean,
drugs.
You don't know Mexican drug cartels? My God.
I don't. I have not studied Mexican drug cartels.
How does the shelter boy from South Carolina know about the Mexican cartel than you do?
Because I grew up in New England.
That's an excellent point.
Because I'm not paying attention to what I don't do drugs. Drugs are bad for you, sir. You know, you ever heard of Dare? You know, I lived that life. That lion was my homie. And I really am having a hard time finishing sentences, and I'm not sure why. But let's move on before anyone starts questioning any of the things that I've just said. Jelly tags in first because he says, I got this.
And then he proceeds to not get it.
He in fact did not have it. The kick to the gut was set. Logan kicks Jelly into the gut, but they're really making him work like Khali. And hearing Cole say Jelly Roll like they modded it into a 2K game was kind of funny to me. And apparently it was also kind of funny to Wade and Cole, who are also taking the piss out of this match. It's like everyone was in on the joke except for the participants involved. And
no, they know what the joke is, or at least Randy, Drew, and Logan do. Jelly Roll thinks he's actually doing a good job.
Yeah, he wants to come off the top rope. That's his dream. He told Stephanie McMahon that on her podcast. And
yeah, he can go off the top rope, and he can go off the top rope and break himself too.
If he goes off the top rope, the human race will end.
Yeah, God.
It's like a meteor hitting the dinosaurs.
Well,
I mean, Joshua, given the way humanity's going, I think I'm welcoming that at this point.
Well,
I will not accept the human race ending because of this fat fuck. Let an actual meteor crash into Earth.
Yeah, besides, I take back everything I said about Drew McIntyre at London Heathrow. I love Drew. I started watching this and I'm like, God, this dude is just the best. It's Drew is always worth watching. He tried his ass off. Logan tried his ass off. He always gets real heat. He motioned for Jelly Roll to blow him when he was in the corner.
Logan, I guarantee you do not want that.
Yeah.
Guarantee you. You don't know I'm talking sentient syphilis.
Yeah, take that grill off and what are you? Orton got the hot tag. Drew did a Claymore. I don't know when this happened because I was starting to skip bits and pieces of this, but I said tit punch to the fat, which I assume was somebody hit Jelly Roll in the gut. But I don't have any other context behind why that was written down. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to go back and watch it. Then this just started dragging, and this I was using the skip quite a bit at this point. The taunting in the prime before the big splash from Logan Paul took forever. It was in slow motion, and then the paramedics are out there for 5 whole minutes checking on Jelly Roll, and I'm skipping. Is there anything else you want to add to this, Skylar? Stop me at any time.
Keep going.
The fake cheers lasted about a minute. They started doing the Jelly Roll, Jelly Roll, and I'm like, oh, fuck yourself. And then the Great Jelly comes back from his death and collies his way around.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
They gave him I'm tough. I'm going to get off the stretcher spot.
No, he wasn't on a stretcher. He just turned around and then just started coming back in and rallied.
Up the stage just to have him go and come back to the ring like, I'm tough. I can come back. I'm going to be the hot tag.
Oh my, everything hurts.
And the Great Jelly comes back from his death and collies his way around and gets a power slam that was but then we get a Claymore from Drew and a Frog Splash from Logan Paul, and that ends it mercifully. Glad Drew and Logan
he got
won.
to live his dream and come off the top rope.
Yeah,
At least he got pinned.
I'm genuinely glad he lost. This was bad. I genuinely have never felt more sympathy. I felt better watching Jay Leno wrestle than this. Jay Leno at least had a great cover. He knew how to pin somebody. This was
Joey
just...
Roll never got the chance for a pin.
Good. Yeah, he was too busy being dead and crying about being dead until he wasn't.
I'd like for him to be dead.
That's dark. And besides, he wasn't dead because he showed up basically unharmed on night 2. So, that's not ending. And speaking of things I wish would not have ended, because it was just the greatest.
Are we going back to actual wrestling now?
Yeah, we're going back to almost maybe
We're going arguably to the only wrestling match on the show.
Yeah.
Don't agree with that, but yeah.
I mean, I know what you mean. Tag team matches are still wrestling matches, but this was a masterclass by 2 professionals who are some of the best at what they do. It is CM Punk versus Gunther for the World's Heavyweight Championship. Your thoughts, JoshAgeddon?
It's very strange because I feel the same way about night 1 that I do about night 2. Down to the fact that night 1, the show was stolen by the main event. Whereas night 2, the show was stolen by the main event.
Well, you can't really steal a main event because the main event is what draws the money. So it's just being a good main event.
You know what I mean, Sean. You sure are. This was the best match on night 1. I don't know if I'll say it's better than Cena and Cody. If you say it's better than Cena and Cody, I'm not going to argue. If you say Cena and Cody's better, I'm not going to argue. I honestly can't pick between those two which one I liked more, but this was tremendous.
Well, let's be honest. They're both contenders for Match of the Year.
I would agree with that.
I would agree with that as well.
And the thing was that this match was beautiful in that it was simple. Mm-hmm. WWE, you don't have to overcomplicate it all the time. Keep it simple.
Well, remember what I was afraid of, you two, and I registered it a couple of times before the show began. I was terrified because I really did suspect that Seth was going to cash in for this main event. I think a lot of people did. So nobody.
I was convinced that your fears were going to come to fruition.
Yeah, I was afraid that they were going to throw Seth in and do the heist of the century thing again and make it a triple threat match. And I'm like, please, God, no. Please just let the match.
Something else, which we'll talk about later.
Which is fine. But please just let the match be the match. That's all I ask, is just to give us a start to finish, no bullshit match between Punk and Gunther and just let them cook. And they made the greatest souffle I have seen in some time. And that's structural unity, ladies and gentlemen, from the very beginning of the show. If that's the intro we kept. But
so here's the thing I do want to point out with this particular thing. You know the concept of dream match?
I know of the bastardized version that Tony Khan tries to claim, but yes, I would say this is one.
I was about to say we have one every Wednesday.
Well, this is an actual dream match because 3 or 4 years ago, this match was never going to happen. We were never going to see it. And it's one of those hypothetical, hey, what would happen if you put this guy against this guy? Well, now we have it, and it lived up to the expectations. And yes, it's different because CM Punk is no longer the guy he used to be, but they worked around that.
Didn't matter. It didn't matter. And these two had such instant chemistry.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was really impressive. And another little piece, it's nice to see the World Heavyweight Championship in the main event of a show for a change.
Nah, I should have gone 4th.
Don't you recite the ancient text to me. I was there when they were written.
I was there when I complained about it.
I was there, Gandalf. I was there 3,000 years ago. Anyway, we get a collar and elbow tie-up.
Can I just say real quick before we really get into this match how proud I am of CM Punk, by the way?
Go on.
Everything that he has been involved with since he came back in 2023 has either been good or fantastic. This dude just does not miss. Say what you want about the finish of the Cena match at Night of Champions being Triple H's signature. I don't know what to do to how to end this match, so just throw everything at the screen. Other than that, Punk has been so incredible since he came back.
Tell him when you're telling lies.
I can't.
And also Gunther is the best wrestler on earth. As far as being a straight up when you think professional wrestler.
Yeah.
He's the best.
It's hard to argue that. It's really hard.
I'm not gonna lie, it was very funny that they had this match sponsored by the General Insurance.
I will say, if you're gonna do advertising like that, use it for canon. That was perfect. Because they had a shot of him staring menacingly down at CM Punk, and right behind it, it said, The General. I'm like, okay, that's the ring general. You've made a clear pun here that benefits both the ad and the gimmick. I am 100% in favor of that. Do that more often instead of Slim Jimming your tables. But we'll get to plenty of that coming up.
Me and Skylar will.
No, I saw my fair share.
Because we'll get to that.
Yeah, I saw my fair share of Slim Jim tables. Don't you worry. I saw
tables at just about every no DQ match.
Which was all of them. But in any
hold on this edition of What the Fuck is Alicia Taylor wearing? Why the fuck does she has eyes on her jacket?
I didn't even notice that. I was too busy looking at whatever was transmogrifying on her head.
She has eyes for boobs.
I'm pretty sure I was doing something else while that was happening, so I didn't see it. But in any case,
CM Punk in his best Fantastic Four outfit, and yes, they do a collar and elbow tie-up. And of all the matches on the show, of course, this is the one that does the collar and elbow tie-up.
Of course, because you have CM Punk and Gunther. Of course,
yeah.
If they didn't do a collar and elbow tie-up, Sean would have actually started a riot.
If we went 0 for 12 on collar and elbow tie-ups, I would malfunction not too dissimilarly to what just happened.
Yes. If we had 0 out of 12 collar and elbow tie-ups, we would still be trying to do the intro for this.
I don't know what you're talking about. The Court-Martail podcast only had one intro. But in any case, Punk starts with that chop. You know which one I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, the Greco-Roman knuckle lock, this is fantastic already, I wrote down. Punk's working the arm, the chops, and the Tree of Woe were like, just damn, this was so intense. You know, there was no holding back from either of these individuals. You know, Punk was laying it in, I think, a lot more than I've seen him in WWE because Gunther was bringing it more to him. Let's see. Abdominal stretch into the rings of Saturn.
I loved that.
That was so good.
I have not seen an abdominal stretch in so long.
Yeah. Finishers were attempted. None succeeded. There was a roll-up and a big boot. I wrote, I love this in all caps. Then
Dude, the boots to the face that Gunther was throwing, he was laying that shit in.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, both of these guys were working each other pretty hard.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's almost hard to recount what happened in the match, not because there weren't a lot of moves, but like you guys just have to watch this one. This is one of the best matches I've seen. Definitely my favorite of this year. You know, I don't know if it tops Cody winning at, you know, last year, but this is truly a masterclass of professional
the matches
wrestling.
we have gotten this year, this is the best like technical match.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Until Gunther does a sharpshooter that looks kind of but I love Gunther trash talking Punk. You know, it was clunky, but
the only thing that would have made it better is if he looked at the camera and said, "This is for you, Bret Hart."
Yeah, yeah,
dude. I think it was like around there, dude. CM Punk nearly broke Gunther's ass when he did an inverted atomic drop and kind of tripped a little. He got a little too much on that inverted atomic drop. He nearly broke Gunther's ass, and it was actually kind of hilarious. I was like, oh, I bet that hurt.
Well, a lot of things I think hurt in this matchup.
Yeah.
You know, but which was good. I mean, they were laying it in. I mean, I thought it could have been a little bit faster, but I did like the sharpshooter counter with another sharpshooter, and Punk's looked better, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because CM Punk is a student of the game of Bret Hart, so he's gonna know that better.
Yeah,
Gunther came from the school of Bill Goldberg.
Although I can't remember who it was, but I think it might have been Punk that was trying to put Gunther into the sharpshooter. I was looking at the legs, and Gunther had to help Punk put the leg in the correct position.
Yes, I saw that. I mean, it took a little too long for that reason. It was like, all right, come on, let's go. And
I thought he was gonna go for a figure four at first.
Yeah, I did
Me
too. I did too.
And then Gunther was like, no, leg go here.
But
and
yeah,
Punk was like, oh, yeah, you're right.
Thanks to Lee Fitting for having that above the ring shot, so we got to witness literally all of that.
Yeah.
Then we get the heel kick. He went for the knee bulldog and gets power bombed for a 2. I'm ejaculating at this point.
This first power bomb that he gave Punk, it wasn't a loud power bomb, but I think he kind of dropped him when he didn't intend to, because the whiplash on this first power bomb was nuts.
Yeah.
Okay. Hot take. It is a very spicy take. The power bomb is Gunther's least impressive move.
Did you see the back of Punk's head bounce off the mat like a basketball?
That wasn't on purpose.
But still, it made me scream.
To be fair, the power bomb of Gunther used to mean a lot more than it does now. It's not that, you know, he's won with so many different things. I mean, he wins with so many different things. He's won with
a fucking clothesline.
He's won with a clothesline.
He beat Tommaso Ciampa in NXT with a chop.
Yeah. You know, he wins with absolutely everything, but but the powerbomb used to be one of those game-ending moves, and it just isn't now. So I think they look kind of sloppy. It's always like a transitional move more than anything else now. Anyway, we finally do get the running bulldog. Gunther does the money shot that they call the frog splash. Cole was not very accurate most of the weekend.
No, he was not.
Michael Cole showing his age.
Michael Cole was doing that 20 years ago.
Yes, he's been doing this a long time.
That's, I think, just habitual.
But at least he used to have the energy when he was wrong.
At least he had the excuse of Vince McMahon being in his ear.
Yeah, now people are bolder about correcting him, though. You know, Wade is not afraid to go, no, that's not what that was, brother.
Dude, there was I think there was an episode of SmackDown where he kept calling Candice LeRae, Candice Michelle, and Wade Barrett was just screaming at him at a point, and it was so. That's what during the TLC match when Candice LeRae came out, Cole called her, and he said it slowly, Candice LeRae, and Wade was like, "Oh my god!"
Damn.
I love Wade Barrett so much.
Yeah, it was. I do too. Wade's tremendous.
Especially with the whole thing of Pat basically saying that he got burnt out and needed the break and told Wade Barrett, "You take it over, son."
Well, and Wade was doing better work than Pat more recently. I mean, you kind of heard the passion being lost in Pat's voice in those last 6 months. You know, it's...
Well, also because all the travel and the worky stuff with the podcast he does and the product placement, all the other stuff, he's too busy.
He's busy. I don't blame him a bit, but it's just... Wade has been the better commentator for a little while, but...
And the fact that they've replaced him on Raw with Corey Graves. Corey Graves is good.
It's nice to see Corey back.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
I wish he was on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get there, maybe. But Gunther does the money shot. We get an almost GTS and another power bomb. We get a basement drop kick and a power bomb. 2 count got a big pop. And then we get the 6 words of doom. Because at this point, Gunther had to be asking one question, JoshAgeddon.
What does he have to do?
And he said it that sensually into the microphone as well.
Yes, this is the TAP ASMR review for SummerSlam.
Yes.
Shut up, Kenny Omega.
Does he do ASMR? Does that happen?
If he does,
Remember how Jim Cornette said that Kenny Omega sounds like a sex phone worker?
if Kenny Omega does ASMR, then that means that is his art. The A in ASMR stands for art.
Okay,
you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. The boot over the top rope at Punk was good. Gunther taunts on the table and Punk trips him. And then...
okay, when the camera just lingered on Punk for a while, I was like, oh my god, we're getting juice. Oh my, I saw this live while I was delivering a pizza while I was driving when my eyes should have been in the road. On the road, not in the road. If my eyes were in the road...
If your eyes were in the road, then you clearly crashed.
Then I'm trying to emulate Vince McMahon a little too much.
Yeah, I guess.
But I was bouncing up and down on my car. I was like, oh my god, we're getting juice. We're getting juice. And then sure enough.
And boy, did we get juice. That was a good cut. And
which also, by the way, was perfectly explained with the whole smarks, because there was reports going on that Gunther may have to take time off because of a nose issue. Way to bring real life into kayfabe.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. And that'll work. And then we finally get we almost got the GTS, but it was countered into the sleeper.
I mean, this is when CM Punk started having like his really hot comeback, and the crowd, the second they saw all the blood on Gunther's face, that's when like the match really got into it.
Yeah.
Especially when Punk is on his comeback and it's blood in the water.
Yeah.
Gunther gets the sleeper hold and it looks like it's going to be Punk, but Punk just powers out of it.
And then finally gets a GTS that didn't knock Gunther off his feet. I'm like, that's spectacular.
Agreed.
So Punk gets a second one and finally did it and won the world title, and the crowd pop was insane.
Yes. This was fantastic.
This was absolutely spectacular.
The really cool thing was that on the first GTS, there was actually a bit of spit that fell from Gunther's face.
Yeah.
And you just saw his head jack up like a robot, but then the punching bag machine games.
Yeah.
It's just...
Gunther, you said, Joshua, he's the best wrestler in the world right now. I would agree. I know he's going to take time off. Honestly, take as much time as you need. Come back even better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to anything that Gunther does. I am 100% in on. It doesn't matter who it's against. He can make anybody look like pure gold. And these two, I mean,
and not Goldberg.
Yeah, not Goldberg, but make
No,
it look like gold.
He already did that, and Goldberg is still complaining about it as we speak.
Yeah, I bet. But this to me is front runner for match of the year. And I said, you may shenanigan all you want now. You kept the match pure. That is all I asked for. Thank you for this. This is all I wanted. I did not care what happened the rest of the weekend. Genuinely.
And then they shenaniganed all over the screen, and honestly, it was perfect.
I loved it.
Punk with tears in his eyes, standing up, holding the title over his head. That's when you hear Seth's music. The look on Punk's face was perfection. And then Seth comes out on crutches, and everyone's thinking, oh, so he really is hurt, which is exactly what they wanted you to think. But the second the camera started lingering on Seth and he just stopped moving, I was like, oh, fuck. And then he dropped the crutches to the beat of his song. Dude, the crowd... You were ejaculating during the match. This is when the crowd started ejaculating. This was the only thing I would have done to make this even better was when Seth drops the crutches and turns around, then you have the Braun and Braun connection, go into the ring and beat up CM Punk, and you have Seth power walking. But I guess they might have been planning to do that until maybe Braun might have tweaked his knee or whatever he did. But what they did was perfect regardless. That was one little thing I would have added to it personally. But then Seth cashes in and wins the world title. This was such a good ending to night one.
Yeah, and I wrote down when this happened, it's like, I thought, like everyone said, I thought he was just going to just yell and leave because WWE has done those finishes before. So I wouldn't have been even surprised. And then he dropped the crutches and I was like, oh, okay, this is happening. And the first thing I wrote down under Punk versus Seth is, don't care, that match was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And of course, what happened is exactly what people thought was going to happen. And we got a two-time champ. Is he the first two-time world champion? Oh, Gunther, obviously, the first. And then Seth now the second two-time world champion. And it was at this point I asked my dear friend Skylar a simple math question. How long did Punk last? And was it longer than Drew's reign? And I hear you have the answer to that question.
And the answer was no, he did not. Drew lasted 5 minutes and 48 seconds. Punk lasted 5 minutes and 11 seconds.
Well, that good thing Drew is not the kind of petty person to bring that up ever, so I'm sure we'll never hear about that again.
Okay, so my audio stopped for a second. I don't know why, but now we're recording once again, so that was weird. What were you saying?
We were remarking about the fact that Punk did not have as long a run as Drew McIntyre did when Drew got cashed in on by Damian Priest. It was 5:46 for Drew or 5:48 for Drew, and it was 11 you said, Sky?
Yep.
5:11
Okay, cool.
for...
Thanks, Audacity. You really threw off the pace of that, but whatever. That's definitely something Drew could use if he so chose to.
Yeah, I was going to say, Drew's not a petty person at all, so I'm sure that'll be the last we ever hear of it.
Not at all whatsoever.
Yeah. But, honestly, I enjoyed the night. The pyro was off for most of it, but I still enjoyed the night. So let's get to rating night one. You start, Skylar.
I'm going to say 8 out of 10. Good night.
Good night to you as well. Then for me...
You hang up first.
And for me...
Oh, fuck you.
I will, well, we're not hanging up. We got a whole second show to do.
Yeah, you're right.
For me, I gave this show an 8.5 out of 10. There was only one donut-sized problem I had with it. I thought everything else was good to great, and one of the best main events I've seen in a hot minute. JoshAgeddon?
I enjoyed night 1, and I would love to give it an 8 out of 10, but it's kind of hard to do that when there's something on the show that you skip. So it was still good. I thought the middle portion from like Sammy and Carrion and the Tiffany match, even though Tiffany did a good job carrying Jade, I was still kind of like, all right, I can't wait till we get to the really good stuff. I'm going to give SummerSlam Night 1 a 7.5 out of 10.
Still a good grade.
Still a good grade.
So then we move on to night 2, where everything might flip.
Yes.
And we start out with a triple threat match.
Oh, Sean, we already lost Sean.
And I watched this. I watched it.
Wait. Before we get into the first match.
Oh, we should
what
do
were
some
your
general thoughts.
Yeah. Oh, general thoughts.
My general
We
thoughts.
already did the general thoughts.
No, we that was just for night 1.
That was for night 1. Now we're doing night 2. So go ahead, Sky. What were your thoughts on night 2 of SummerSlam?
Wasn't as good. Too repetitive.
It was, and I assume you mean by the amount of no disqualifications matches that we had on said show?
Yeah, extreme.
And hardcore spots.
There were a lot of them. JoshAgeddon, your thoughts overall on night 2?
I felt the exact same way about night 2 that I felt about night 1. Good start, not a great middle, good ending.
And I would say I'm kind of in the middle of that. I thought the show was entertaining enough. You know, I didn't hate, for as much furniture as there was, I thought I was going to hate it more than I did. But it was all right.
Well, you skipped the first match, which is the main reason why you didn't
skip the first match. I watched the first match. I skipped the second match.
Yes.
What
about the fourth match?
I watched the fourth match. The fourth match is actually where I actually kind of thought that this show gradually and got better as the night went on. I thought from match 4 on, I was having quite a good time. In the first, it took a little while for me to get going on the first half. And this match that we start out with, Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky versus Naomi for the World's Championship, the Women's World's Championship.
The Raw one.
Yes. I don't hate, I don't love, it just is. And so I am largely indifferent to it. So perhaps I am just desensitized to triple threat matches that are like this. It was fine. It was fine. It was a good opener. The crowd was into it, and I have no emotions attached to it. Your thoughts, JoshAgeddon?
I thought this, similar to night 1, I thought this was a fantastic way to open the show. This is the best match that Naomi's ever had. And Rhea Ripley and Io Sky they are incapable of missing. This was very good. I enjoyed this match.
Skyler?
Rhea Ripley, please peg me.
Wow.
Well, that was certainly a choice of words.
That went places, especially Skylar's colon.
I was, but I don't know if Rhea Ripley has the medical credentials to do that. But
you don't need them.
But in any case,
Right.
This crowd was way quieter at the outset than yesterday's crowd. Naomi's dad doing
they all had to come from church first.
Maybe at 3 in the afternoon.
Real quick, I just want to say I did think it was really cool that Naomi got to have her dad play her to the ring.
Yeah, I liked that. But I will say it was funny trying to see Naomi switch reactions from "this is so cool, my dad is here" to "oh shit, I'm heel, I'm supposed to be mean."
Yeah.
Because she couldn't really help but smile at her dad, and I don't blame her at all. It's not a knocker criticism. But it was kind of funny, her trying to, like, switch brains almost. But the green shirt cult is multiplying. What happened? There's more smileys than there were before. Who were those other two?
Probably his friends.
Maybe, but they were a good chunk of seats away. I hope that whole front row becomes green smiles at this point. Just strip all the originality out of it.
How much money has that man spent on tickets getting in the front row?
I don't want to know.
He must have a really good job.
No, it's because he's a Nepo baby.
Well,
Or he has really, really saucy feet pics.
No, he's a Nepo baby.
He's a Nepo baby with really saucy feet.
Yeah, that's not actually how he's got his money. It's how he got the connections, but it's not how he got the money. The money's through the feet pics. But the nepotism got him the handshake, but it's not what brought the money in. And
the nepotism got him the foot shake.
Anyway, speaking of appendages, Naomi bit the finger of Rhea to avoid a suplex. I thought that was pretty creative.
I loved that, and Michael Cole missed it.
He sure did. And Wade went back.
And Wade was over there like, she bit the finger, Cole.
Yeah.
And Cole still did not acknowledge it. Cole
acknowledge it, Michael Cole.
No, it was even worse. Cole said possible finger biting, and I was like, no, it actually happened.
That's what happened.
The camera was right on it.
You were not watching, but it's what happened. Io sounds like Dr. Zoidberg.
I'm rapidly getting tired of the pointing at her head rapidly thing. Why does everyone have to have a thing that they do constantly?
Well,
I know this is WWE and this is what they do, but it's annoying.
Hand motions. Hand motions sell merchandise, I think is their reasoning.
Jazz hands.
Those were not jazz hands. Those were jazz fingers.
Pointing at her brain like, I'm crazy because I do wrestling like everybody else.
Yes.
619 to a weak German to Naomi. This was pretty by the numbers. I did like the Poison Rana though.
Me too.
Io did a great moonsault, always one-upping Charlotte when they're on the same card.
Yes.
Io does it.
Killing me.
It's true. Well, almost. There have been a few close calls with Io, but in any case,
this one didn't have a trash can over her head.
That's true. Io does a moonsault to break up a pin that Naomi dodged, which was nice.
Dude, that was my favorite thing in the entire match, basically because what they explained on commentary that Naomi did her homework. That was basically the finish of WrestleMania, that triple threat match. And Naomi rolled out of the way, and I thought that was very good. And Naomi's heel turn has saved her career.
It's given her a
first. On Wade Barrett saying Bianca.
Yes, well, I mean, we got Umanga for a long time, or Umanga. So, no.
Bianca.
Yeah, Bianca. Arr! Where be me anchor?
Oh, God.
But in any case...
Pirate Show.
Ooh, this man's puns.
That's
Pirate
right.
Show is on White Knux OG.
Yeah, go look at White Knux OG for the Pirate Show.
Yeah.
But in any case, we get a Riptide false finish that the crowd was in on. The crowd definitely was warming up the more that the match went on, so this was a good choice for doing that. We get an Avalanche, now the finish. Mm-hmm. Although the Sunset Flip Bomb to Rhea on Naomi was nice too. That they did on the outside. This finish, it harkened back to a previous day. I did not hate it. I understand why they did it. I think it was maybe the best case scenario for the three ladies involved, given what they're all doing. Mm-hmm. We get an Avalanche Riptide to Io Sky, and then Naomi rolls up with the tights, Rhea Ripley, to retain her belt. I knew she wasn't not going to lose the belt that quickly. And I don't think anybody would have really seriously bought her pinning Rhea with some sort of finish yet. But this was a pretty good way of finding the balance and giving Rhea the out. The only thing that sucked about this was Cole. Because even though a triple threat match doesn't have any disqualifications, why get rid of or why diminish the out that you just gave Rhea by going, well, sorry, Rhea, but it's no disqualification, so the tights don't mean anything. I just thought, that really damages the out that you just gave her because it's supposed to be cheating. And it's just...
Sorry, I didn't hear that. I was too busy, like he was too busy screaming snake bit into my ears.
It's just I don't know.
Are we at the point now where we need to send Michael Cole off to the retirement home?
We're getting there.
We're getting there. We're getting there. It was just
There was a lot of Shire over the weekend.
yeah. It's there's no other way to put it. I mean, he is still the mayor. What was he? He was the Grand Poobah, the High Chancellor of Weenie Shire.
Supreme Chancellor.
Yes,
the Supreme Chancellor.
There we go. Yes, the Supreme Chancellor of Weenie Shire. He's moving up in the world, you know.
Yeah, he wants to be the Senate, I hear.
But yeah, that's a popular position for Supreme Chancellors to want to aspire to. Yeah, my only issue was what Cole said. The match was fine. The match was fine. It was a good opener, and it got the crowd into it. I didn't pee my pants over it, but it was fine.
I practiced a little.
Skylar?
Then,
This was a good triple threat match. I am not Naomi's biggest fan, but okay, let her keep the title, see what she does next. Fine.
all right, so they're going to do Naomi and Stephanie Vaquer at Clash in Paris. Who do y'all have winning that one?
I think still Naomi.
That's what I think.
It should be Stephanie, but it's going to be Naomi because of cheating.
Yeah, because Stephanie's over, but it's also way too early.
Yeah, I think Naomi.
Why
yeah.
ever winning that? Never mind.
Sorry, what was that, Skylar?
Why have her win the Battle Royal at Evolution then?
For the lulz? I mean, Jade won Queen of the Ring, and here we are. I mean, I know they're different, but I don't think they really should push her that quick either. I think the fact that she's there definitely validates her to be in that level. But I think there's more to be done with this Naomi world title reign, to tell you the truth. I think that they shouldn't end it that quickly. I think she probably should hold it for a little while. You know, I'd rather see her with a championship push than Jay. I said what I said.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm going to get to rest my voice for a little bit, because here comes the 6-team TLC. There's 12 people in this. There's 6 tag teams, and there's one cold, black, dead heart that loved tag team wrestling many moons ago. And that would be mine. And so I said, it's great that they plugged the Hardys and the Dudleys Bound for Glory match.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, you guys have fun. I'm going to go ahead and just do some errands, and I forget what I did during this. Oh, I got my mouse from my Mac, and I actually made a beat. So I putting in a little work for the White Knux and Abizzle comeback. We didn't really go anywhere, but we're coming back.
So
Now I will leave this up to the two of you. Go ahead.
We've had an enormous tables, ladders, and chairs match with about 85 different tag teams. I'm not even going to list all of them because there's too many tag teams. Okay. I loved this match. I thought it was a lot of fun. Was it ridiculous? Yes. Was it a car crash? Yes. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
It was a car crash so big I thought Vince McMahon was in it.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
Damn,
That
guy.
has been our underrated running joke of this show. Just Vince McMahon causing car pileups.
Well, considering how I did the intro, I ran into several vehicles before we finally got this engine running. So
Yeah.
we've been thematic about that the entire show.
Yeah, but okay. I can totally see why Sean skipped this and Skylar. Did you enjoy this?
I enjoyed it to a point. The second I turned my brain off and said, okay, let them do all the ridiculous things. Let them destroy their bodies. Fine.
I thought this was a lot of fun. I didn't write any. I don't ever write notes other than writing down different words, different synonyms for the word poop whenever Jelly Roll is infecting screens and rings near you. But there was so much crazy shit in this match. The one thing I could do without is the Slim Jim logos on the tables. That's stupid and ridiculous. TKO, stop that.
We like money.
Shut up, Mr. Krabs. I know that's why you opened the Krusty Krab too. Shut up. But But this also should have been the only match where tables were used. Which is one of my complaints about Night 2, reuse of weapons in multiple matches, where this is the only match that should have had tables in it. My favorite spot of the entire match, honestly, was the death of Candice LeRae.
You mean Candice Michelle?
No, Michael Cole. I mean Candice. I'm trying to think of another. I went on a date with a girl named Candice, and one of my Pizza Hut managers is a girl named Candice, who spells it with a K. So there's too many Candices. She died, and it was both hysterical, and that was the craziest bump of the entire match. And I don't know how that wooden ladder that's totally steel did not cut her in half.
I mean, that still had to hurt.
Yes. That was nuts. And that Spanish fly on Dawkins from Axiom through a table. Okay, I loved that Ciampa moved out of the way, because if he was just dead the whole time they landed on him, I would have been like, okay, that was a little much. But I'm glad that he had the wherewithal to move out of the way.
He didn't want to get involved in that spot.
I don't blame him, because he would have died. That would
Also,
not...
Ciampa, please grow your beard back.
But other than the Slim Jim logos on the tables being stupid, Def Rebel needs to be court-martialed on this podcast. They also
You're fired. You heard him. You're right. Def Rebel, you're fired. Go ahead.
They need to be drawn and quartered as well. Like tie them up and have 8 horses. 4 horses per person. And those 4 horses run off in different directions, and there's just 8 limbs just everywhere. Because only like one team had a decent track to come out to the ring with, and that was the Wyatt 6. Every other team has the most generic, boring, there's no way any crowd would ever react to this. Even if the entire crowd collectively and simultaneously dropped acid, the crowd did not react to any of these songs. They all suck. Why is WWE okay with this mediocrity?
They aren't. They fired them.
Then why are there? Then change everyone's music.
You know how hard it is to come up with music? Let's just make generic pop and rap.
No, I don't know how hard it is to make music, Skylar. Not at all.
They have bajillions of dollars. Licensed music. Go to each team. Who's your favorite artist? What song would you like to come out to? It is literally that easy. Do not tell me that this company cannot afford music.
Well,
but they're cheap bucks.
They don't want to spend money on music if they don't have to. They've made it very clear they want to maximize all profits possible.
But so they prefer just making us all wish that we were deaf.
Yes.
That sucks.
It makes us want to rebel.
No.
Yeah.
No. Well,
yeah.
I mean, I am rebelling against them wanting me to be deaf. Bring back CFO or Jim Johnson. Please come back. I don't care what issues you had in the past. It's a different regime, I guess, even though sometimes they make me question that. So besides the music situation, I don't think it was as good as the TLC on SmackDown earlier this year. That was just tremendous. This was like a step below that. I do think there were like too many tag teams involved here. It was a bit of a mess.
I'm not going to lie. Them going through 4 tables, one after the other, sucked.
I disagree. It could have been a little bit faster, but I enjoyed it. And again,
they took their time with it, and I wish they didn't. Just get to the tables, get through it. I mean, it would have been worse if all 4 of them did it simultaneously.
There were some solid chair throws to the skull where people got their hands up to protect themselves. This wasn't the CTE Express. There were a couple times where we got some chair on head action, which you don't see very often, so that was nice. Again, protected chair to the head.
We also got a lot of women in this.
Yeah, we saw.
And I wish we didn't.
We saw BFAB, and I groaned, and then Nikki Cross came in, and I groaned even louder, and not in a hot way.
BFAB was too slow climbing up the ladder because she had too much Papa John's the night before.
Because she's too long, and she sucks. So there's that. But yeah, then Candice LeRae died, or is she Candice Michelle? The world may never know. And then the worst team in this match won.
Joshua, you love the Wyatts. You love creepy horror gimmicks.
I wanted to give them a chance when they came back last year. But then one of them got injured, so logic dictates just banish the entire group to the Shadow Realm for months and months and months, to the point where all of the heat and the intrigue they had died. They basically kind of did to them what they did to the New Day. Triple H really hates tag teams.
Well, to be fair, what wasn't the one person who got injured Bo Dallas? So you kind of can't do
that time to flesh out his minions.
Yeah, but which they clearly didn't. They're like, oh, the most important person's gone. We'll just stop then.
You can still have him talk. You can still have him cut promos.
Yeah, that's something I wish WWE would change. Like, injuries are all of a sudden like you just disappear off the face of the earth in canon. Like you just are gone forever, and
that killed this group. That absolutely positively killed this group, and now it's just kind of sad to watch because, again, I don't watch as much SmackDown as I do Raw because Raw is just the superior show most weeks. But whenever I do watch SmackDown, when the Wyatt Six comes out, they come out to crickets, which was not the case last year. And then Triple H is not fond of tag team wrestling.
Well, what are you talking about, JoshAgeddon? They had 3 tag matches on night 1.
Yeah, well,
with no tag teams in them.
Tag teams.
Yeah.
No, we've got low fat. This is low calorie tag team wrestling. There's no real tag teams in it. It's light beer tag team wrestling.
I thought this was a fun car crash, but I just wish that they would just stop with the Wyatt Six. It's just getting sad at this point.
Yeah, let the idea die with Bray's relatively underwhelming career. And just give these guys... You know what? Try this gimmick out in AAA. They would eat this shit up, I bet.
Probably.
They probably would. It's not working here, but it's not like it won't work in under WWE's umbrella somewhere.
Yeah, it is not working. Like, it could have worked, and I was on board with it, but that it just does not matter anymore.
Have them team up with a Psycho Clown.
Have them murder an iguana. That would make me happy.
Vampiro. Enough said. His Alzheimer's-ridden ass would probably still make that group more entertaining.
Sean, are you ready to come back to the program yet?
Oh yeah, I'm here. I've been just sitting patiently and waiting for, well, this schlag of a match.
It was not a schlag. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
I bet.
I did have a few criticisms though.
For me, it was a bit of a schlag.
How was it a schlag if you didn't watch it?
No, I'm talking about the next match. I'm talking about the upcoming match.
Oh, the upcoming match?
Yeah, no. I didn't watch the TLC. I just did other stuff. I made a beat.
The third match was indeed a slog.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't clear. I'm moving on.
And in my opinion, the worst match of both nights.
This
And you guys can have fun. Because I'm not talking about this one.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Because it's Becky and Lyra for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Becky's new theme...
That was a really weak Macho Man.
Because I wasn't really... That was half-assed from the get-go. I didn't really try it.
It was as half-assed as this match was.
No, they used their whole ass and some other people's ass and a couple 6 other more people's ass. This match went twice as long as it should have.
This match was a disaster.
Becky's new theme is fine. I know you're doing it because of not wanting to have the same babyface reaction that she gets and everybody sing her music, although people will ultimately start singing that music.
Yeah.
Hold on. Sean, you didn't do the game, though.
Was she wearing anything interesting?
On this edition of What the Fuck is Becky Lynch Wearing?
Well, on Evolution, she wore a long black dick. On this show, she wore a long white dick, which, from what I hear, is not a thing.
She basically skinned the Michelin Man and turned it into a jacket. She's wearing the Stay Puft Marshmallow.
His carcass.
And you know what's crazy is that is still toned down. That's still
Irish Cruella de Vil.
Compared to what it used to be, where she was wearing the pages of her own book.
Yeah.
This is nothing compared to all of that.
And this was nothing compared to the previous matches that these two ladies had.
No,
this was so disappointing to me. Watch this match and then watch Cody and Cena, because they basically had the same stipulation. That was how to do this match. This was how.
Yes, I'm skipping talking about this match, except for the fact that whoever decided to have a zip tie needs to be fired.
That is part of why this match was not.
Yeah,
good.
we're gonna get to that.
There was no structure in this whatsoever. This felt like they both had a bunch of really cool ideas in what to do in this no DQ match, and not a concept of how to get from point A to point B. This was the most throwing shit at a wall match I have ever seen.
Yeah, but I did laugh. I did have to laugh because before the show, JoshAgeddon, I was saying, like, you know, I made the hashtag last time, and the movement's going strong, hashtag no mo kendo. And JoshAgeddon said that there was a really good chance that I was going to see a kendo stick in particularly this match. And that is exactly what happened. And I must admit, I did pop when that happened, but it wasn't for the kendo coming out. It was more for the fact that you mentioned it.
Yeah. I mean, on Raw, they were beating the shit out of each other with kendo sticks, so I knew it was coming.
Well, and the funny thing is, it's out, Becky gets it, and then, for some reason, these two ladies wanted to just downright murder each other, but never quite had the coordination to pull it off.
No.
Because
no.
We get a spray-painted crowbar. I'm like, okay, we're just going for full-blown cranial assault and death. They run Becky or Lyra into the cameraman, and he trots off embarrassed.
I fucking died when
Soon
that.
to be fired.
That did not look planned. He looked so
No,
sad.
he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he's like, I just fucked everything up. And
I've never seen a cameraman walk of shame.
his little
before.
trot away was very funny to me.
It was the best part of the match.
It was very funny.
Depressed cameraman.
And I will have to say, they pull out a table, but when the table was pulled out, you could tell the crowd was already gassed from all the furniture from the TLC match they just saw.
That right there, that was another issue with this match. This was absolutely in a death spot.
Yeah, I mean, they just got served food. This is like going out back for a fourth plate of spaghetti.
This is like me getting in my car and driving to McDonald's, coming all the way back home, and then getting back in my car and driving right back to McDonald's.
Yeah. It's and then Wade Barrett got me another funny ass moment. This dude is the best.
Yes.
Becky Lynch pulls out a toolbox, and Wade Barrett says, "You should put yourself in that box, Cole. It's a accurate representation." And I was like, "Do not change, Wade." That was absolutely fantastic.
And then it was around when, I think it was when they introduced the zip tie, which kind of ruined this match and things really started going off the rails. Because, again, wrestlers do not know how basic tools work. Even in 2025,
this has been long established.
Pointed out still is relevant today.
There's a reason none of these people got jobs as carpenters or construction workers.
Yeah. I don't know why, but at some point, something started happening in the crowd, and that's all the crowd cared about. I have no idea what was happening, but the crowd. There was even a focus on the match chant. The crowd started chanting, "Watch the match."
And that tells you all you need to know. And there were, and at this point there were feathers strewn about the mat from the bracers that Lyra was wearing, and then the wrench comes out. I'm like, there have been multiple murder weapons in this match.
Yes.
And then we get to the zip tie, and I don't know who to blame for this, because if you have a toolbox, you should have a box cutter in there.
Yeah.
And that would have solved you a lot of problems. So I don't know who loaded the toolbox with just what they needed for the gimmick, but that is really stupid on their part. So I really don't know if I can blame Lyra for trying to do what she was going to do, because I kind of suspect
you can never blame the talent for this, because whoever is the person that set it up and whoever laid out this match needs to be fired.
Well, and
Agreed.
and
Okay,
why?
maybe that's a little too far, but it's just, if you're gonna ask the people to use a zip tie, you have to make a conceivable way for them to get out of it without it looking hokey and phony. And the other thing too that made it worse, did you guys get to the part where she did the belly-to-belly suplex in the zip tie?
I thought you
Yeah.
weren't part of this, Skylar. I thought you were just ducking out here.
Well, here's the thing. I had to go put laundry in, but real quickly, what made me quit this match was the second that the suplex happened and her hands fell out of the zip tie and she had to put her hands back in.
Yep, that was the moment where I was like, "This sucks."
And that's when I quit this match. Because beforehand, this match was not engaging me, and I was kind of like dying on a vine. That's what killed me.
Yeah, that was before that I was like, "This is not great." And then the match never recovered from that, because it was it was a split blink and you miss it thing that happened, because she was quick about it, but it was also
No, she was not quick about it. She was trying to figure out what the hell to do for a good 10 seconds.
It wasn't. It was not 10 seconds. It was brief, but the camera was right on her when it happened. The camera was on her at the worst possible time, and it was bad.
Also, I don't know if it's the fact that I've seen Lyra and Becky wrestle each other so much in the past 3 months. I'm tired of it. I'm glad this feud is over. Get these two to wrestle other people, because I don't want to see them wrestle anymore.
I don't think this is over with just yet, because I think the plan
The
is
stipulation was literally if the person wins.
No, if Lyra loses what she did, she can no longer challenge Becky. Bailey's gonna take the title from Becky, and then
We'll get to Bailey. We'll get to Bailey real quickly, okay?
Yeah, hold on.
What I think is gonna happen is Bailey's gonna beat Becky for the title. Then Lyra is gonna beat Bailey for the title, and then we're gonna get one last match, because now Lyra and Becky are tied 2 wins apiece. Then we'll have the final blow off.
Which might be in a Hell in a Cell?
No, I don't. I know. Just do an Iron Woman match. I do not want to see these two in another no DQ match after tonight.
Well, here, backing up a fair bit, this stuff with the zip tie, if they had just worked around the fact, like if she came loose, just work with it. Just skip all the rest of the middle shit you were going to do and just go into the part where Lyra gets free, and this match would have been fine. You could have skipped all of this stuff with the fire extinguisher, which wasn't very exciting. And then she tried to pry it off. And again, whoever didn't put a knife somewhere in there, and then she had to crawl underneath the ring to have somebody clip it for her.
Yeah, that was also really
That's
bad.
where I lost interest.
Yeah.
I was with it, and I was with the spots, and I was even willing to forgive the zip tie coming loose, because I said, okay, Lyra's molting, so some of the feathers look like it might have been like one of the feathers was like dark and black, so maybe you mistook a feather instead of her hands getting loose. Like, I was willing to give that benefit of the doubt. Then when they had to have the guy underneath the ring cut it, I was like, oh, fuck this. And then it just wouldn't end.
Yeah, then it went on forever.
Then it just would not end. And
then we had this other stupid idea where she put the chair around Lyra and tried to like stick her to the announce table. What a stupid idea for a spot. And then she broke the chair on her that somehow killed Lyra briefly.
Yeah.
I don't understand the logistics of that.
Yeah, and then the Bailey stuff. And I said, somebody end this. And then Bailey showed up. There's a leg drop through the table. The crowd's exhausted.
Yeah.
And then Bailey fucked up, and Lyra took a funny snap bump. That ended it. And this could have been half of what it was, and I would have been satisfied.
Agreed.
Bailey fucked up, and then she looked way too long to allow Becky to The fuck, WWE? You're making your baby faces stupid again.
This wasn't great.
This was
You're turning me off of Bailey, which I shouldn't feel this way because she's the hometown girl that I like.
Yeah. Well,
you're turning me off to what was my favorite feud so far this year, Becky and Lyra. This was very disappointing.
And just to pour salt on the wound, then the next people that they showed were Russell Wilson and an unhurt Jelly Roll.
Yeah, this was no good.
Yeah. I'm sorry, ladies.
And it gets worse from here.
And now that's funny that you say that, because I actually enjoyed this somewhat.
I'm glad.
Oh boy, Sean, you are going to be in the minority on this one.
I'm glad one of us did.
I did not hate this. I like both guys. They're too similar to have this kind of a match. But
that's one issue.
And well, hey, listen, I don't mess with Gamorreans, man. And Jacob Fatu comes down looking like a Gamorrean, that more than he did a werewolf.
What is a Gamorrean?
The Gamorrean guards from Star Wars, sir? Like the pigly-shaped creatures that are on Tatooine?
Sean, you're going way too far into references that nobody's going to understand.
Oh, come on. People, no, I will push back on that. People know Gamorreans. Anyone who's played Star Wars Battlefront 2...
Jabba the Hutt's planet in Episode 6.
Yes.
Oh, I just didn't know that. I didn't know that's what they were called.
Yes, Gamorrean guards. They were a bitch to deal with in Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the PS2. Because you play Jabba's Palace and they'd one-hit you.
And also a bitch to deal with in the Star Wars Bounty Hunter game where you play as Jango Fett.
Yes.
The only time Jango was ever cool.
Yes, that's a true statement. Then this was a hot start. Both guys looked good, I thought. And the crowd was into it. But you seem to despise it, so I will start with JoshAgeddon. Why?
I didn't hate it at first, but I'm not gonna lie. My main issue with this whole thing, I'm tired of Solo Sikoa and him being either in or in charge of a bloodline something or other.
The Goon Squad?
This is Bloodline 3.0, and I'm tapping out. First off, it is a sin that they have made Jeff Cobb such a dweeb. First off, you killed him by naming him JC Mateo. That is so dumb. That's issue number one.
Yeah, that hurt it all for me. I'm like,
He only ever gets his ass beat. Then you immediately bring in someone that's even bigger than he is. This MFT thing is so, this is one of the reasons why I kind of skip SmackDown some weeks, because I know it's just going to be Solo and his goon squad of not really Samoans, but kind of Samoans, tangential Samoans.
Too many Samoans / Pacific Islanders.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
The problem is they all have the same moveset. Oh, a kick. Oh, a punch. Oh, Samoan drop.
Super kick, Samoan spike. I think the T in MFT stands for tangential because they're tangential Samoans.
These are 6 CAWs, all with different outfits.
Basically. And I'm over it. I want Jacob to do something else.
Get him on Raw.
Please, away from Solo and get the US title back on LA Knight, anyone other than Solo. I know that you have a soft spot for Solo, Sean, but I'm at the point where he's hit the ceiling with me. I'm just over him. And the finish to this match sucked ass.
I won't deny that. I won't deny that the finish was not great. But here's why I'm softer on Solo. He himself, I think, has been doing very well as far as building charisma around himself. The problem is every one of his matches is the same.
Yep.
Every single one of them. You know what's coming, how it's coming, when it's coming. And the problem is he's doing a lot of great charismatic stuff in between. He's developing real personality, but putting him against like roided up him is a bad call. It just reminds people why people love Jacob Fatu, and once he showed up, it took a lot of what made Solo special away from him.
Yep.
And
I'd actually argue that Solo Sikoa's personality, quote unquote, is not that special.
I don't know.
mean,
I don't
he's
dislike
funny.
it.
He's funny, but like he's been doing largely as far as like people coming in, him being a part of a faction that bails him out. He's been doing it since he appeared on the main run, since 2022. It's
Well,
It
and
doesn't
another
help that the bloodline in training is also around, aka the Judgment Day, that does the exact same thing and
They
has
do
been
it-
doing the exact same thing.
they do it better, and they didn't do it on tonight. They didn't do it the night before. They don't always do it, and I honestly, they're way more. The Judgment Day, they've changed it up enough in different ways and have top level people and mixed with bottom level people. Where with the Bloodline 2 and 3.0, it's been one central figure and his henchmen.
yeah,
We thought that they were going to vary it up when they brought in Jeff Cobb, but he's just another goon.
yeah, well, they're all the goon squad. And here's the big problem: they never gave Solo the win over Roman that he needed.
Nope.
They blue balled Solo terribly, and
Yeah.
he has been desperately trying to regain some of that momentum back, and it's just not working now. So I really don't put it on Solo at all. I think it's more how they treated Solo when they gave him the shot that they did. We weren't saying this when he was first getting this secondary group together and bringing in Jacob and bringing in Tongaloa and Tama Tonga, but then
Because
he
when
lost
they-
to
when they
Cody
first
3
did it-
times, and then
But
he
when-
lost to Roman Reigns 3 times.
When they were doing that, it was a different direction for him. It was fresh. It was newer. He was like the anti-tribal chief. He was the fake tribal chief. But that was a year ago.
And when Roman Reigns beat him, that should have been the end of it. But instead,
Agreed.
he's like, no, I'm still the leader? And it's like,
Question mark?
of
And what
what?
they should have done is they should have had Jacob Fatu beat his ass and beat all the others, and the others lose faith in Solo and run away and move on.
And then have Solo kind of learn through that, everybody abandoning him, and allow this personality of his to shine in a more practical way. You know, I like Solo because I don't think that the reason that he's less favorable now, or the reason that this match was bad, is Solo's fault.
No, it's not his fault. My issues with this are solely the booking of it.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing: is that Triple H has been getting a lot of praise and a lot of criticism, but I think particularly the criticism is in the wrong place. We'll get to the thing that happens later on in the night, but what he needs to be criticized about is his repetitive stuff, particularly doing the same type of finish, the same type of way, except maybe changing one or two things here or there. In this case, having to keep Solo Sikoa the U.S. title, but also make Jacob look good, handicapped them to a point of like, oh, what the heck are we going to do? Down to the Bloodline members coming in, Jimmy Uso coming in, who also needs to go to Raw.
Or
Yeah.
away.
There's a lot of people who need to go away from each other because I'm tired of seeing them.
Sean, I heard that, and I was about to say the same thing. He needs to go away.
But and also he shouldn't have gotten music. If the Goon Squad didn't get music, he shouldn't have had music.
That annoyed me too. Like, that's another thing. We cannot have run-ins. We cannot have a babyface or a top heel run-in without their music playing first, which is annoying.
And also, Jacob, the first time somebody kicks out of Jacob Fatu's moonsault, and it's Solo after he does 2 of them.
Yes, I hate.
Come
I
on.
hated that too. I
Come
hated
on,
that
man.
too.
It's like,
When that happened, I was like, "Really? Are you serious?"
who is agenting this? Anyway, here comes the Goon Squad who don't get music, and Jimmy does. Jimmy yells to shut the cage door, or Jacob does, I'm sorry. He goes, shut it, I'm going to punish people. Walks into a spike, 2 count. I thought if you're going to have Solo win this, that should have been it. But the goons climbed the cage. Cobb got kicked in the fat. This is what I wrote, word for word.
You're not wrong.
Talatonga cuffs Fatu at the top of the cage. Now, I liked that, but it also said, well, I understand why it was a zip tie instead of handcuffs in the match before. Because at least they
Still didn't like it.
They respect...
I would have liked it more if we didn't have someone get handcuffed or zip tied in the preceding match, or the previous match.
Well, it also would have helped if the cuffs were not made out of aluminum foil from the kitchen.
Yeah, that is all.
Yeah, but how else was he supposed to break them? He's not going to do it Mark Henry style.
It would have been even better that when he broke out of the handcuffs, the camera wasn't even on him.
Because he did it by accident, I think. He looked at his hand like, oh shit, all right, well, let's go. And then, I think he did it by mistake. And then he's like, all right, let's go.
Well, shit.
Yeah, literally.
Next spot.
And so Solo's trying to escape, and they try to get him in, and then Talatonga hits both in the head with the cell door, which Solo doesn't really sell, and he crawls out. I wanted Solo to win this. I'm glad he's still the champion, and mainly because they need to move Jacob Fatu up the card. Period.
Yeah.
That was my whole thing. I know Jacob's going to lose. I came to terms with that. Ended up actually enjoying what was match of this more than I thought I would.
And then we had the reason why this was a cage match, so Jacob could do a moonsault from the top, and he nearly killed Tongaloa.
I was actually happy that they caught him. You know how many...
I think Tonga might have caught him a little too good.
Well, him botching catching somebody would be right up his alley, though, so...
Well, yeah, that is also true. I don't blame either of them for this. The booking around this was not something I am interested in or fond of, so this did not do it for me.
Skylar?
Yeah, this was just... I wish I could have skipped half of Becky and Lyra and skipped the other half of this match, but damn it.
Instead we got it all.
Yeah.
Well, now we move on to the only match with disqualifications on the night. And
we move on to the part where the show actually started to pick up.
Now, if I will say this, if they ended this match in a disqualification, I would have been like, oh, fuck you.
That would actually have been really funny.
But I would have laughed. I would have laughed. The one time you could get disqualified, you do.
I would have laughed.
Yeah. But in any case, I said this should be short but good, and it really was.
Yes.
AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship.
Mm-hmm.
This was, if you're going to do an Eddie Guerrero tribute match, this is about as good as you could do it.
Yes.
I just wish they didn't do the Eddie Guerrero tribute during TLC.
Didn't see
Me
it.
too. Yeah, I did, and I booed.
Bet. Nothing like some good old... See, this is not Edsturbation. This is a tribute.
Yes.
The
TLC was Edsturbation.
Yes.
This was an actual tribute.
Yeah, I enjoyed this, even though I would have really liked the collar and elbow tie-up.
Well, you know what, Sean? You had your collar and elbow tie-up the previous night. So
I know, I can't complain. With the quality of the match that did have a collar and elbow tie-up, I'm really not that upset. And besides, AJ's been trying to get a hold of Dom for months at this point, so you know.
And it does make with that context, it does make sense.
Yeah.
I love that he started out with just wailing him in the face.
Yeah. And
these two have chemistry.
They do. Dom's getting to be a level of worker who can work with quite a number of individuals.
He's so good.
He's very good. He has grown quite a lot in the past couple of years. And he's definitely leaned into his own.
Very different from what Ray does, which is amazing, because he could have been a carbon copy.
Well,
no,
when he tried to be a carbon copy, it was not very good.
Yeah, we saw where that went. You know, him becoming himself was huge. And that's the thing I hold out hope for with Solo, that I can put him in a position where he can really use the charisma and the comfortability that he now has on television to some greater end than this. Because Dom's doing a great job with it, and Solo's still young. So there's time with him. But in any case, we get an atomic drop from AJ Styles, and that made me happy.
Yes, that also made me laugh. that is such a perfect move to do to someone with a personality or a character like Dom. That is such a because he's the slimy chicken shit. Of course, you have to give that guy an atomic drop.
Yep. But I will say that Dom sweeping the leg when AJ was doing the springboard was really innovative. I thought that was another good spot. This match was overall very good, I thought.
Yes, that little mini 619 on the apron to the leg, that was sick. He did that so smoothly as well.
Yeah, he sure did. And then we get a Tope Atomico. AJ does a Tornado DDT. We get a Yoshi Goroshi.
Dude, that Tornado DDT, the way that Dom slid, like when he got planted and was selling, like, you know, they do the almost Undertaker sit-up sell when they do a DDT sometimes. The way he like skeeted across the ring off that was both awesome and hilarious.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the forearm stutter. He went for the phenomenal forearm, but he kind of stuttered or stumbled. But they recovered really well for the Michinoku driver.
Mm-hmm.
And the crowd was really split on this one.
Mm-hmm.
They like Dom. They don't want Dom to not be dirty, but they like Dirty Dom. I'm AJ Styles. I'm Dirty Dom. Which one of you is the real Dirty Dom?
I was thinking of a different joke. I was like, maybe he should wrestle Don Cheadle and then he converts to Clean Dom.
Oh, God.
No.
No.
Sean's joke was better.
There was a CIW joke for you, right?
It was a CIW. I appreciate the CIW joke. But Don Cheadle is still recovering from pain.
Yes.
But in any case, we get two amigos and
Here comes the pain?
No, that's later. That's later. We get two amigos and a brainbuster.
Win Broly.
And save your.
That's a Dragon Ball Z reference for fans.
I was about to make a BoJack Baby Splash reference, but then I realized it wasn't the right person. But in any case, we get two amigos.
Kind of racist. They're both green.
It's so's Piccolo, and he's a tag champion right now. Subscribe to CIW, by the way.
Indeed.
Now potentially coming with screen capture technology. Potentially. Don't quote me on that. Two amigos and a brainbuster. Then the ref got cucked by Dominic Mysterio. Because Dom picks the turnbuckle and the ref's like, hey, stop that. And Dom's like, nah. And the ref's just like, hey, I mean something. Come on, man.
Starts yelling at the turnbuckle.
And Dom just was not listening at all. And he just, I thought that was funny. But then we get the chair coming in, and this made me laugh.
This was really funny.
This I enjoyed.
They did the Spider-Man pointing at the other Spider-Man, like, no, he cheated. No,
yes.
he cheated. That was so good.
As Dominic throws the chair at AJ and takes the bump the way that Eddie used to, and then AJ's like, here, let me just Pillmanize my own head and fall too. And
it starts twitching.
And then
is what was really making me laugh.
And then Eddie the cuck Durango turns around and he's like, what just happened here? And they're both trying to explain to him that the other person hit him. And then, sometimes you just have to hit somebody in the balls with the ropes to send a message.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
As both men get a couple shots to the mini Doms, the dirtiest of Doms, and the baby Styles. Then we get another boot. Then we get the boot spot that Eddie did at, what was that, WrestleMania 21?
20. Oh, it was 20.
20.
Against Kurt Angle.
Against Kurt Angle. And this is when I said, boy, this is a proper Eddie tribute. And it ended with a frog splash.
Yep. He got the boot. And I was like, because I noticed that he unzipped his boot after he got out of the calf crusher that one time. And I was like, is he doing what I think he's doing?
Yeah.
And sure enough, he did. Although it was kind of funny because at a point it stopped being the calf crusher, and AJ just it was World War III.
He was just
AJ
genuinely trying to just pull the boot off.
He was trying so hard to pull his shoe off.
Yeah, it did take a while.
I must know where you bought this boot. I need to buy it for my wife.
Yes.
Just clocks him with the boot and finishes with a frog splash. this was great.
I enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this, and I knew that these two were going to deliver as well. And this was top 3 of matches on the weekend, I thought. As far as for what it delivered on, I mean, it's hard to say because there were a couple other good ones to throw into this mix, but I really enjoyed this match too. Considering that it was the only one that didn't have a no disqualification, I was like, ooh, good, a singles match to whet my appetite for what was to come.
Yes, the one singles match on this edition of Extreme Rules.
Yes. Anything to add, Skylar, before we move on to the main event? Hello?
So we're moving on to the main event.
I guess we're moving on to the main event. It's Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the WWE Undisputed, even though we have a second world title, heavyweight championship.
The WWE Disputed Championship.
Yes, it is Cody.
Doesn't have the same ring to it.
That's not quite. It's John Cena versus Cody Rhodes in a Bloodline Rules match. I mean, in a no disqualification. I mean, in a hardcore match. I mean, in a
It was Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules versus also known as a street fight where no one wore street clothes. Well, John Cena kind of did, but that's been his ring gear for forever. But and I thought for a second that they were giving Cody Rhodes a Roman Reigns-like theme, that I was in for that. And then they just went back to what Cody has, which is better.
I mean, it was kind of cool they gave him the AI-generated Dusty Rhodes voice.
Yeah, I don't know how much I love that, actually. I was like, this is AI. This isn't Dusty.
I wish they would have done the thing where they had gone back in interviews and pieced words from Dusty communicating over the years to make a promo.
Yeah. Because it's not like Dusty consented to have his voice be used for AI.
Yeah, but at least we got to see Captain Grimm come out right when Twisted Metal Season 2 is hitting Peacock.
Hey, he got the DLC Golden Grimm helmet. He paid the extra $4 for the skin. I was impressed with that.
PlayStation Plus, the original Twisted Metal games, all 4 of them are on PlayStation Plus now. So if you care about that, care about that.
There you go. You heard it here second.
Even though physical media is better.
And I am actually looking forward.
Laserdisc.
I am looking forward to watching season 2 though of Twisted Metal. That show slapped.
Agreed.
But we get this matchup from the Black Tron to the back to the Color Tron. I loved this. And then they hugged. John Cena said thank you for everything. And now let's have a hockey fight.
I knew the second they did that, I was like, oh, Sean's going to love this. It was already off the right fist.
I wish they had just done the ball kick.
We were 0 for 5. To have a whole night without a collar and elbow tie-up is just painful for me.
There, Sean. It'll be okay, Sean. We'll get through this together,
Yeah, I've heard
Sean.
that too much lately. I've heard that way too much lately.
It's like every show we do, I have to say that.
And it's not okay. It's never okay.
Anymore.
But in any case.
Well, what were our general thoughts of this match before we really get into the nitty-gritty? Once again, there's so many grits on here. Where's the cheese?
I really liked this.
Everything great and bad about WWE main event overbooked matches. The end, the story.
See,
Electric Boogaloo 2.
I knew that this match was going to be overbooked given the way that Punk and John Cena went. I did not care by the end of it. I thought that they both had a much better match than John. That's maybe the best match Cena has had since he's returned.
Agreed.
And it lent itself, and there was kind of some Cena highlights throughout this whole thing. There were some decent homages that were put into his career, to kind of emphasize the point that it was really him being his old self. Going right into the Umaga stair spot, I thought was a good way to put that. Danny Angles is the referee.
That's how you know.
That's how you know. And
Is he officially the head referee?
Whenever there's an angle involved.
Whenever there's a gigantic angle that's going to take up 2/3 of the finish of the match, then yes.
So Danny Angles for the angles.
Danny Angles has got the angles. And 5 moves of doom gets a pop. Cena's still slow, but with the crowd behind him, it matters way less.
Yes.
You know, it's just the thing is that Cena couldn't sustain the heel run. It was good at first, but he couldn't keep it up because a lot of his you need to be a better worker when you're a heel than when you're a babyface.
They basically said on the last episode of SmackDown, John basically said without saying, "This heel run isn't working. I'm a babyface again. I'm sorry."
And it's made us all think that The Rock might show up and Cody will turn and all that stuff. But
Yeah,
thankfully,
that made me so worried about a double turn.
yeah, but thankfully for the 60,561 that were in attendance on this night, which made the 2-day total 113,322. I don't think anybody announced that on the show. I think they just left that to be. They didn't actually have somebody come out and, say that. So I just wanted to make sure that you were not denied the grand total that WWE claims was there.
Mm-hmm. I like the little add-on of WWE claims was there. That was
nice. And speaking of things that are either fabricated or need to be more fabricated than real, as in stop doing them, Cody needs to retire the cutter.
I agree.
It's never looked good.
It only looks good when he's up, like when he does it to Roman Reigns. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, but
a lot of the time it just looks awkward.
Most of the time it's Charlotte's moonsault. Except for this weekend, because Charlotte nailed it.
I wouldn't go that bad, but in the same ballpark.
It's basically the same as John Cena's springboard stunner.
I wouldn't say that either, because John Cena never hit that.
Yeah,
Cody
that's
hits
true.
it sometimes.
Well, speaking of people who can't hit, Cody gets a moonsault and Cole called it a crossbody repeatedly. And it took Wade to go, that was more like a Terry Funk weird angle moonsault. But it was a moonsault.
Do you remember when Cody was younger and he could actually do a moonsault?
Kinda.
He actually had a really pretty moonsault. It's just he can't do that anymore.
Well, and then we start our homages as Cody Rhodes gives a couple homages to his good now friend Kevin Owens. Mm-hmm. As he gives a pile driver that doesn't do it because
that popped me. That popped me. I was shocked when he did that.
Well, and I will say they're planting seeds. Mm-hmm. They are planting seeds for Cody to turn.
But when will Cody turn?
But I don't know when it's going to be. And I said if it's not tonight, they're setting up for it soon. Because there's no other explanation for why Cody would use a pile driver. Yeah. Except they're getting to the point where Cody, John Cena might have broken Cody somewhat, with what happened. And now he doesn't know where the limit's going to be now that he's pulled the trigger, so to speak. He's not going to know where to stop. It's like it's
the whole thing of Batman killed somebody and now he doesn't know when to stop.
Yeah, maybe. We get an Arkham Asylum deal. Kevin Owens comes back as a babyface. Anyway, we get a pop-up powerbomb. The STFU is still awful.
I marked out when Michael Cole called it the STFU.
I did too. I was like, hey, well, that's what it is to us. Both in implication and in shape. We both get a mic shot and then a code red, which looked kind of good, but kind of slow, but it kind of good.
Yeah. That popped the crowd.
It did. There's an AA on the table.
That must have sucked to take.
Now, I did a count, gents.
This was basically my only issue with this match.
There were no less than 8 attitude adjustments or FUs in this matchup. And there were no less than 6 crossroads in this matchup.
He hit him with the attitude adjustment.
Yeah, he sure did.
It was ridiculous.
It was anywhere and everywhere, and he did it in a ton of different places.
He did it on the stage, and that also must have sucked.
Yes.
That one was just a sack of crap. I'm gonna throw you around, AA.
This is like green eggs and ham. Would you AA on the stage? Would you AA through the cage? Would you AA? Would you AA in the ring? Would you AA on my thing? Oh, that's a different book.
Oh God.
That's a different book.
All right.
No.
That's sorry. That's a different book.
STF you on my thing.
That's Dr.
We've been
Seuss, not
podcasting
Dr.
for 2
Seuss.
hours and 48 minutes. We need to stop.
Hey,
Just getting started.
but anyway, this it spills out, and there's the JBL Big Match John reference. This is where I wrote, if this was the only no disqualification match on this show, this would have
Weekend.
this. I mean, Weekend is asking a lot. Because there were a lot of feuds. Well, no, seriously, because there were a good amount of feuds that deserved a stipulation like that. But if this was the only one on the night, this would have gone from regular great match to God tier match, and it was pretty good. But then we get a leg drop in AA number 4. I thought we were nearing the end of the match when he said, "What do I have to do?" But that was like the halfway point.
You thought.
Yeah.
Sean, you thought.
Yeah, it turns out quite a lot still. What do I have to do? Quite a decent amount.
You haven't even scratched the surface yet.
Yeah.
Dude, it literally got to the point of them kicking out of a ridiculous amount of stuff. The crowd literally at multiple points started chanting Super Cena.
Yes, I heard that.
Super Cena. That's when you know.
And you know what? He's back to Big Match John. You didn't want him to kick out everything. You shouldn't have baited him into not turning heel.
Yeah.
But in any case, they spills out to the arena. John Cena catches a garbage can. There's a suplex on the barricade portion, which was unique, and props to John for taking a bump like that at his age.
Yeah, it was unique. Like, again, they saved some of the more unique things for this match because there's certain things, and again, it fit with the what you would expect from a street fight.
And I must say, if you're gonna be silly, this going through the curtain and then coming up through the stage was silly.
It was,
but it was fine. Then they do AA number 5. Cody puts Cena through the table for his first Crossroads count. Cody unties the bottom turnbuckle and uses it twice, so he's not fully going heel, but man, they're teasing the shit out of it.
Mm-hmm. And the crowd was not happy about it.
Yeah. And then there was an STF with the ropes, which somehow looked better.
Well, he was just choking him. He didn't do an STF.
That's true. Well, it was supposed to be something like that, but that's what they called it. Michael Cole doesn't get anything wrong, Sky. If you listen to him, you know everything about wrestling.
Thanks, Dave Meltzer.
3 Crossroads. Oh, it works for that audience. 3 Crossroads still didn't do it. And I said, this is about as close to being a double turn without actually being one.
Yes. And I was very nervous.
And it was fascinating. And then I just started doing counts. AA number 6, 7, Avalanche 8, still 2. This has been a lot of finishers I wrote. Then we had another very bad Cody cutter we could have done without.
This was the jankiest Cody cutter. This was the jankiest cutter of any kind I have ever seen. It was
really bad. No, I remember when Britt Baker tried to do the B. Priestley back in the early days of AEW. That was worse than this.
Oh, God.
Yes. There's one that I remember very distinctly being a worse cutter than this cutter.
Yoda saw this cutter and was like, there is another.
Yes, yeah. See, oh, you got that, but not Gamorreans. Anyway.
I didn't know that's what that
I know. But anyway, the salute was very heelish.
Yes.
It's not tonight, but it is brewing. And the salute finished it. The Crossroads finally 1, 2, 3. This was a great street fight. But I wish it was the only no disqualification match on the night. If these cards were better balanced, this match would have meant so much more.
Becky and Lyra should not have been no DQ.
Yeah.
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 But I still thought what I looked at it as that's how not to do no DQ. This is how to do no DQ. Just night
If
and
anything, take the stipulation that you suggested earlier, since it was a 30-minute match anyway, and do an Iron Woman match.
I don't know if I would have done a match that long.
It was 30 minutes anyways.
I know, but I mean, I guess. I mean, if you're gonna give them 30 minutes, then make it a gimmick, I suppose.
2 out of 3 falls, but they did that with Bailey on Raw, so
Yeah. No, I actually don't disagree with Skylar. I think that an Iron Woman match between those two would have fared way better than Zip Tie McGee.
But anyway, beyond that, like John Cena, this was a tribute to him and his last SummerSlam, and we only got 4 months left.
yeah.
Yeah, and I will say I did enjoy the fact that these two both ended up baby faces at the end of the night. I think that's the way it had to be done. I think Cody bringing John back to the light to finish this tour was the right move. I thought it was going to happen. I had come to terms with Cody turning, but I'm glad they're waiting. Because I think there's
no Rock, no Travis Scott. In my opinion, this absolutely redeemed that disaster at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Now the
yes.
question I have is the whole salute thing. Couldn't that just have been like Shawn Michaels to Ric Flair? I love you. I'm sorry.
I think it would have been if John Cena's back wasn't turned. If John Cena saw that salute, then yes. I think that would have been an I'm sorry, I love you. But because, or as Vampiro put it once, hello, I love you. But man, 2 Vampiro references tonight. Anyway, Lucha Underground, it was certainly a time. But in any case, if John Cena was looking at Cody and he did that, then I would say yes. But his back was turned, so it was more like Cody saying, yeah, I got you. And this is, I don't think that there was the same level of respect in that vein. And it wasn't just the salute that was the heelish things that Cody was doing.
Right. All night, Cody was pulling out all the really aggressive and stuff. Again, it's not heelish in the sense of he's cheating or he's doing this or doing that. It's just more so, please stop. I don't want you to hurt him. I love him too much. Please stop.
Yeah, and then Cody leaves, and I was so relieved. I'm like, no matter what, I didn't want Cody getting involved with who came out next. Not yet, at least.
Well, the thing is that the idea is that, hey, John Cena gets to have a moment alone in the ring with the fans, enjoy it while it happens, let the emotions wash out, and the fans really did pour their hearts out for John Cena.
They did. And then here comes Brock Jack Mulligan.
Fucking shows up and that fives him.
Yep. That was the shock of the weekend. And I will give WWE a ton of credit. They kept that under wraps.
Yeah, fuck you, IWC.
Yeah, they're always good with that as well when it comes to Brock. They're always good with that when it comes to Brock. And, you know, I mean, Cole said, holy shit, which I thought was funny.
I laughed my ass off.
Brock Lesnar.
I mean, that's the proper reaction.
Yeah, Brock. Yeah. He looked like one of the Blackjacks. I was like, I'm Brock Jack Mulligan. I'm down for it.
He looked bigger.
He did.
Looked massive.
And he comes to confront John, and you know, and there will be a time for Cody and Brock, but I'm so glad they weren't near each other. But I don't mind this. I know the IWC is all real disgusted, Skylar, if you want to talk about why they're all mad. But honestly, considering what WWE has brought back in terms of people's transgressions, Brock, I think that at this point the time has blown over, and there's enough people willing to separate the man from the show, even though they wouldn't do that with Hulk. But we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah. So,
well, Joshua, do you want to say your thing before I say my piece?
Aside from just the shock of, oh my God, they brought back Brock Lesnar, I honestly don't really care that much that he's back outside of the, oh my God, they actually brought him back, because I don't know what a John Cena Brock Lesnar match in 2025 is going to look like. I I mentioned earlier on this podcast, Brock is in one of my all-time favorite wrestling match. But I've seen all that Brock has done and all that like he can do in wrestling. So if this is a one-off, fine. But if he's back, if Brock is back, then I'm not super crazy about it. And that's removing all of the controversy stuff, like with the stuff with Janelle Grant. That doesn't help but WWE is apparently like even bad press is good press. But I'm more just wait and see what they do. I'm reserving my opinion for right now for later. But as of right now, because I'm not sure what they're going to be doing, I'm shocked to see him. But I'm not super crazy about seeing a John Cena Brock match in 2025. I'm not going to lie. And I kind of hope that it's just a one-off.
Well, it's going to have to be, I think. I think this is just a John Cena highlight reel of people he wants to wrestle. I'm terrified that it's going to end with The Rock. But I'm serious.
Do not let that be John Cena's final opponent.
I've thought about that because I feel like that's what they teased.
Please don't. The Rock does not deserve that. He does not deserve to be John Cena's last match.
No, but he'd shoehorn his way right into it if it meant big time dollars.
Okay.
All right, Skylar, the floor is yours with that wonderful visual in hand.
So I'm going to make a promise to both you and Joshua and to you, the fans. I'm not going to allow my personal politics to affect either this conversation or the conversation we're going to have with Hulk Hogan. Let's be clear about that before we even begin. I'm sure a lot of you know from the fact that I live in California and that I have certain leanings. I'm going to leave it the way it is.
Yeah, there's earthquakes all the time there, like everything leans.
And I'm actually gonna be serious for this. I'm not gonna do any jokes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I ruined that with a bit. Go ahead, Sky.
Long has it been said that WWE has swept controversy after controversy under the rug. This is the one that they should not have. To not even pretend that right now Brock Lesnar's name is currently in a court of law as part of a lawsuit against Vince McMahon and WWE for sexual abuse allegations. Brock Lesnar is being investigated because of his part of Vince McMahon offering Janelle Grant to him as a way to get him to sign with the company, and the alleged things that he made her do while he is married to a woman. It is scumbag behavior at the very least, and a disregard for everything else morally otherwise. There are a lot of people I know who said that they're done with WWE, and I don't blame them. But the thing that I'm going to say is that this company has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that all they care about is money, morals be damned. We see it with the ad sales. We see it with Saudi Arabia. Now we see it with Brock Lesnar. And while he's not the personal subject of the lawsuit, the fact of the things that he has allegedly been said to have done and the fact that there is more to come scares me. What this also concerns me is two things that could potentially happen. One, The Rock getting involved, like you said, Sean. And two, Vince McMahon coming back, even on screen with no power. But if he's on screen, I promise you, I'm turning off my subscriptions and I'm done. Because I will not spend another second with Vince McMahon in any way, shape, or form. In all honesty, you guys were saying before that you didn't particularly care when Hulk Hogan died. I didn't either. I want Vince to die.
Yeah, that's two people who have gotten sizable death threats on this program. And Vince certainly tried this week.
Okay. Let me be very clear.
But
I don't actually want Vince to die. I don't want it like that. I will not shed a tear when it happens.
Yeah, I don't blame you for having those opinions, Sky. And truth be told, it's like, to some degree, at least in for my part, I watch wrestling and WWE, namely with the knowledge that that has been the case from its inception. The nature of the wrestling business has not been through the churches, you know, and it's been through deceit, and there's a lot of nasty stuff that's gone on in the business. I recommend everybody to read the John Logmead book, Ballyhoo, which really sets the stage for what professional wrestling was and how it's really always kind of been a scumbaggy business, full of people who are less than reputable, which is why they don't have other places in society. Now, that's not everybody, obviously, but we saw this with Saudi Arabia. We've seen this. I mean, Vince McMahon was pushing Jimmy Snuka in the main event not days after he had murdered his girlfriend while he was snorting buckets of cocaine going from town to town. You know, it's not that I don't have an issue with those things. It's just that WWE has always been a company that has been willing to disregard them, kind of like the NFL with domestic abuse cases. And I think they do it for the sake of entertainment. My hard no is Vince coming back with power. Now, I don't think, Sky, if I'm being honest, I don't think that Vince McMahon would ever show up on WWE television unless he had power. And I don't think TKO is going to do that.
John Cena would make it happen.
I am not sure about that. I think there are lines.
I'm with Sean on both. I don't think there's any shot that Vince is coming back with power, because what Brock has alleged to have done, even though he didn't do anything to Janelle specifically, the intent was there. The intent to do things was there.
Well, supposedly in the lawsuit, and again, this is all still in litigation, so we can't really say for sure, but supposedly the only reason why Brock Lesnar did not do what he did was because of a snowstorm.
Yeah, so the intent was absolutely there, but there's a huge difference between what Brock is accused of and what Vince is accused of. What Vince was accused of is so heinous and infinitely worse. Not saying what Brock did was not that bad. It was bad.
No, it's a dick move.
Yeah, but I'm very much in agreement with Sean. I don't think Vince will ever come back, but I'm also in agreement. If he comes back and he has any form of power in this company, I'm also done.
Yeah.
That is an absolute hard line. If Vince has any power in this company ever again, done.
Yeah.
I'm out.
That's a hard sell for me. Or an easy buy, I guess would be the better way. It's like, okay, time to go. And
right. And again, whether or not Brock Lesnar does anything for their money or the bottom line, people may stop watching. People may tune in. I don't care at this point. I'm not the business. I don't care. I don't make money off of it. The thing for me is that what scares me is that if Brock could come back, Vince could come back. And it's not likely, but it's never no.
It's theoretically possible.
I think it's more likely Shane comes back than Vince comes back, but that's just me.
I'd be fine with that so long as he breaks his leg immediately.
Poor guy. Oh, man.
John Cena couldn't retire peacefully in the night. Brock Lesnar had to kick his ass one last time.
So with all of that, ballyhoo.
Let's get to ratings. Seriously, read that book. It's a great book. But let's get into the ratings, and I will start this time, because I know I hardly ever start doing these on the ratings. Ultimately, I still ended up having fun on night 2. I think we've made it sound worse than it actually was, to some degree, because we had a lot to nitpick about the middle portion of the show, and I'm more partial to Solo than the other two gentlemen here, and I'm less partial to the TLCs and the triple threat, which was fine. Again, I was indifferent about it, but ultimately, I went into this show with the open mind of I'm going to have a fun time, and I did have a fun time. And even though Becky and Lyra was painfully long, the biggest issue I had was that they could have shuffled these matches up a little bit better, you know, but other than that, I still had fun. I still think that this is a great 2 nights of wrestling. You know, if you watch these 2 nights of wrestling, you'll have a fun time, particularly with the main events, both of which were really good for different reasons. I gave this show an 8 out of 10 for making my grand total 16.5 out of 20. Your rating, JoshAgeddon.
Damn, I didn't think you would go that high.
I did. I had a good time. I had a really good time.
Once again, I'm like a broken record. I loved the beginning. I did not enjoy the middle, and I loved the end, much like night one. And honestly, overall, SummerSlam blew WrestleMania out of the water.
Agreed.
I enjoyed the triple threat. I loved the TLC, despite a few nitpicks I had here and there. Lyra and Becky was very, very disappointing. And I did not enjoy the cage match, but Dom and AJ was good, and I loved the main event. So I'm actually going to give Night 2 the same exact rating that I gave Night 1. Night 1 I gave a 7.5. I'm also giving Night 2 a 7.5, which is something out of
15.
Yes, 15 out of 20, which is pretty good.
It's just pretty good. Skylar?
It's a 3-hour podcast. Don't ask me math equations.
That's right.
Unfortunately, I can't be as enthusiastic as you guys are. Not because of the Brock Lesnar stuff, but because there was a match, Becky and Lyra, that made me quit in the middle of it. And points have to go down for that. I found the hardcore spots too repetitive. And as much as I enjoy watching my boy John Cena, I could do without the 8 attitude adjustments and the 6 crossroads and the Cody Cutters. I'm tired. I'm tired, boss.
I'm tired, boss.
I want to go home.
What a reference.
Having said that, I'm giving this a 6 out of 10. I just can't be up there because too much happened. And if you make me quit in the middle of the match, it's going to go down at least 2 points. And I give the weekend overall a 14 out of 20.
Well, I did not expect that I was going to end up having the highest rating of the weekend. But
hey,
I did skip a TLC match that probably would have brought it down a few notches for me. But
like a 14, a 15, and a 16 out of 20, that's pretty good.
it sure as hell beats us zeros across the board.
Fuck you,
Yeah.
AEW.
Never forget what was back at WrestleMania 38.
I wish I could forget.
I know, but we can't forget. Just like we cannot forget to keep you informed on whatever we feel like whenever we feel like doing these podcasts. And next up is our Hulk Hogan tribute. We're going to have ourselves a fair and balanced discussion about the man who brought wrestling on a national scale. But until then, thank you very much for coming to this wonderful SummerSlam podcast. That's JoshAgeddon. That's the Bay Area Brawler, Skylar Greenberg. I am your Colonial Champion, Sean McCarty, and we will be right back right after this.